out in the middle. So definitely good weather. So everything is in place. We just are waiting to have the national anthem.
Hello and good night. I am your presenter, Chloe Dantes, and welcome to the Francis Babalastic Grounds. This is match number 16 in the Premier Sports Inc. in the collaboration with the government of St. Lucia presents National Lotteries Authorities, LLA, SPL T20 cricket. It's SPL 6 where we show them how to party. Now, for our gold sponsors, we must give a shout out to Court St. Lucia, bringing value home. Lutilec Computer and Business Services, Crick Clubs, Four Circles, Nagico Insurance, Flow, Forest Springs, and of course our media partners, DBS, NBC FM, and Vibe Radio. Tonight game features the Dr. Freeze, the South Castries Lions up against the Jade Mountain Soufriere Titan. But before we begin, let's all stand at attention for the national anthem. Really rowdy. Bob. Mountain Soufriere Titans, you guys actually won the toss and decided to bowl first. So you guys, let's start. Shake hands.
Yes, and the teams are exchanging pleasantry, but we're going to go out in the middle to find out really actually happened at the toss.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to match number 16 in the St. Lucia Premier League Season 6. We are live here at the Francis Babalastic Ground in Grizzly for what promises to be an exciting encounter between the South Castries Lions and the Jade Mountain Soufriere Titans. We are about to take the all-important toss. Joining me out in the middle are the two captains, Exas Emmanuel from the Soufriere Titans, Kester Shalmine of the South Castries Lions, umpire Cyrus Sepal, and match referee Matthew John. Coin will be handed to South Castries Lions captain. Tails is the call. And tails it is. So the Soufriere Titans, Extas, you've won the toss this evening. What are you going to do?
We'll have a ball first.
What is the reason for that decision this evening?
Like I always say, we have set plans before the game. We'll just try to execute it right now. We have another chance to rise from the last game. All right, just put the rights wrong, to put the wrongs right, sorry, and let's just take it from there.
Any changes to your 11 this evening?
About 5 of them, or 4, I think it is. So we have, I can't remember right now, honestly.
No problem. All the best in tonight's encounter.
Thank you.
Just to have a word with you, Kester Shalmine, you've lost the toss this evening. If you had won the toss, what would you have done?
Definitely looking to bowl, but We're just looking to go out there and put a good total on the board, having lost the toss.
How important would you say the power play is in this encounter?
Given that, it's a high scoring ground, we'd like to get off to a good start and put a formidable total on the board and look to defend it in the end.
Any changes to your 11 this evening?
Just 2 changes this evening. We have Efron Charles coming in for Bolton. We have Malcolm Monrose coming in for Colin Calendar.
All right, thank you and all the best in the encounter this evening.
Thank you.
And we're just going to have a look at the playing surface for this evening's encounter. It's the same surface that we've used for the competition so far. We could see that there are quite a few dark spots along the playing surface, which suggests that there is some moisture on offer. So look out for that new ball in the power play. However, still some signs of dryness in the surface, which suggests also that later on the slower bowlers may come into this encounter. So we're going to take a break for about...
So here you have it. The Soufriere Titans, they have won the toss and elected to bowl. So the South Castries Lions, you have the 2 international pair opening, the batting, in the person of Johnson Charles and Andre Fletcher. Malcolm Monrose is in there this evening. Daniel McDonald. You have Kester Charlemagne, Larry Edward, Zaire Antoine, Xavier Gabriel, Royce Paul, Daniel Jean-Baptiste, and Efron Charles, who's in the team. So certainly, this should be a cracker of a game. We have some 3 international players on show. So the Soufriere team.
And for the Soufriere team this evening, Kevin Sinclair, Mateo Boulogne comes in today, Darius Monrose, Dijon Charles, Ecstasy Manuel, Shanai Mesmin comes in, Julian Sylvester, Kurt Edward returns to the 11, Javon Charles makes his debut as well, Kevin Gassi and the youngster Caleb Charles will be in the 11 this evening.
So it looks like number 17, Gassi, will be taking up the attack from the southern end. He'll be bowling to Johnson Charles. And this one, top edge, possibility of a catch. He's running back and it's dropped, and to add insult to injury, it has gone over the ropes. So a life been given to Johnson Charles, the very first ball of the match. Dexter Solomon.
What a turn of events for the first delivery this evening. The Soufriere Titans, they ended their last game in that mode of dropping catches, and they've started that way this evening. Darius Monrose at short fine leg, not being able to lay a hand on that one. A big opportunity going down for the Soufriere Titans.
Yes, certainly. John's gonna beg in, and Johnson Charles looking to heave this one over the wide long on region. A play and a miss. So how costly it's gonna be, like you did in the case. I remember the 18th over of Dwight, that some free catches were dropped. So certainly it may very well be deja vu for the Soufriere Titans.
Still early days, so they would be hoping that they could correct those wrongs, as Captain Ecstasy Manuel did say at the toss.
And this one uses his feet, advance down the wicket and deposit it over the wide mid-on region and down to the boundary, well, over the ropes for 6. So 4 and a 6 there to Johnson Charles.
Yes, a very good start for Johnson Charles, taking full advantage of that opportunity he was presented with. Dropped at the short fine leg region. Kevin Gassi really opting for that back of a length. Those back of a length deliveries, as we see a field change. The fielder was at deep square leg, is being brought around to deep mid wicket, where this ball just sailed over for 6.
So Gassi to continue from the southern end, and Charles backing away, looking to access the offside. Back at the ball and delivery. So good response there by Kevin Gassi.
Yes, Kevin Gassi, a member or product of the High Performance Center here in St. Lucia. So he's one of those very promising young cricketers, fast bowler, a very good batsman as well, good all-rounder in his own rights. He started well here this evening, created an opportunity and gone past the bat twice.
This occasion, full delivery. Johnson opts to push it towards the shot made off region. No run resulted. So after being struck for that 6 over the wide mid-wicket region, he has come back well with 2-dot deliveries.
Yes, and the Soufriere Titans, they would know how important it is to start well against the batting pair from the South Castries Lions.
And Johnson again advancing down the track. And this time he has heaved this one over the backward square region for 6. So giving Kevin Gassi the charge and unable to really close up the over. Some 16 runs coming off the first over for the South Castries Lions. A very productive over after being given a live the very first ball.
Yes, with some 16 runs being considered from the first over of Kevin Gassi, the Soufriere Titans will consider themselves very unlucky with that opportunity that was created on the first delivery of the encounter. And the Soufriere Titans, they would be hoping that this is not the trend that they are setting for themselves this evening. Johnson Charles in the previous games, he has presented an opportunity early on, but he has not gotten away with it. So will tonight be his night for the South Castries Lions?
Yes, so the South Castries Lions, they off and running. Very good first over. And the pair of Johnson Charles and Andre Fletcher, the last game, Andre Fletcher got some 92 runs. So this certainly would be a good hunting ground for him as well.
Yes, Andre Fletcher, he is the second leading rank scorer in SPL 6 so far. 21 runs behind Tariq Edward of the Grizzly Knights. So he is in good touch, and the South Castries Lions will be hoping that he can get going this evening. We've not seen the explosion that one would expect when they look at the scorecard and see Johnson Charles and Andre Fletcher opening the batting.
Yes, certainly Johnson Charles has not really come to the party as yet. And perhaps the Titans would be hoping tonight is not the night he can really come to the party, because he can be very destructive when he does.
I could tell you one thing, Greg. Every run that he scores from here on, Dalius Monrose will be very nervous, shaking in his pants, really.
So Dijon Charles to take up the attack from the northern end. The players pavilion end brings Fletcher in defense, but able to pick up a single. This delivery was played towards the short point region. So he's up and running. And it brings Charles back into strike. And we see that the 2 maximum he has struck, he has advanced down the track on both occasions.
Intent from Johnson Charles here this evening at the Francis Baba Lastic grounds. We need to wait to see how he looks to take the attack to Dijon Charles.
And this one, he has heaved it, and it's going to go all the way for 6. No? Yes, 6 it does. So, certainly Johnson Charles, Dylan, this is his 3rd maximum. He has just faced 7 deliveries, and he's already raced up to 22.
Yes, Johnson Charles wasting no time this evening getting into his own. Well, we need to keep reminding our listeners and viewers that he did give the Soufriere Titans an opportunity of the first delivery he faced, and that opportunity went down, and that has resulted in 22 runs being conceded, 3 sixes and a 4 so far.
Yeah, so 2 fielders out mid-wicket and fill that point. And this one, no second invasion, was right in the slot and deposited it over the side screen at the northern end for 6.
Johnson Charles continues to take the attack to the Soufriere Titans with good effect for the South Castries Lions. They've raced up to 27 without loss, just halfway through over number 2. Johnson Charles looks very dangerous this evening.
Yes, this last delivery from the Jean Charles was a little too friendly, right in the slot there. Basically, what I would describe a buffet delivery. Help yourself.
11 runs of the first 3 deliveries.
This one angling down the leg side, strikes him on the thigh pad. No run resulting, so a precious dot ball there for the Titans.
Yes, really a rare dot ball. We've not seen many of those. And it's Johnson Charles, 26 of 9. Andre Fletcher has just faced the 1 delivery for his solitary run. But Dijon Charles and the Soufriere Titans, they would want to finish this over as quiet as possible.
But full toss. Perhaps Dijon Charles can consider himself very fortunate that Johnson only played it straight in the path of Shanai Mesmin at mid-on. So the last 2 deliveries, 2 dot deliveries, as you indicate, haven't considered some 11 already in the first 3 deliveries. You would certainly want to end the over on a good note. And this one, full delivery inside the edge. Ricochet onto the pad. So good finish to the over there by Dijon Charles. Some 3 dot deliveries.
Yes, even Steven in over number 2, 11 of the first 3 deliveries, but Dijon Charles coming back well and delivering 3 consecutive dot balls to Johnson Charles. Some smiles between the batsman and the bowler at the end of the over to suggest that, yeah, you got me earlier in the over, but I responded well. But with after 2 overs, 27 without loss, the South Castries Lions would be the happier of the 2 teams at the moment. The power play, as Kester Shalmine indicates, is a very crucial part in this encounter, a very decisive phase of play, and the Soufriere Titans, they would know that they would need wickets in the power play to push back the South Castries Lions.
Yes, certainly with these 2 at the crease, Fletcher and Charles, they both are very 2 destructive players, and they have partnered each other before. For the Kings, they would have played for the Winwoods, and this is not the first time they're playing for South Castries Lions, so they are very familiar with each other. And this one, angling dog leg side, and good acrobatic save there by the wicket keeper. Certainly saved 4 runs for the team.
Yes, with the fielder fine leg inside the circle, that one swinging back into the right-handed Fletcher. And a bit too straight from Kevin Gassi. We want to start those deliveries further outside the off stump to create more of an opportunity or challenge the batsman even.
This one outside the off stump, back of a length, and Fletcher looking to deposit this one over the mid-wicket region. So a play and a miss. So another red dot ball there by the Soufriere Titans.
Yes, despite the 16 runs that Kevin Gassi had conceded in his first over, he has really stuck to his line and lengths. And he is bowled to a plan, and so far, well, he has created 1 opportunity. He would be hoping that he could create another and that they can hold on to it as the fielder at square leg is brought around to the deep mid-wicket region.
Good delivery, brings him in defense, but good Edwards unable to prevent the single at the cover region. So very sedate start there by Fletcher. No real shot in Angas yet. I think his partner in crime is doing all the heavy lifting at this point, so he's pretty much contented to just put him back on strike as much as possible.
Yes, and that's why it is very important that the Soufriere Titans break this partnership. They don't want both Johnson Charles and Andre Fletcher striking from both ends.
And this one is in the slot, and it's heave over the backward square region for 6. So Kevin Gasty on this occasion just straight into the pads, and he was deposited for 6. So as you did indicate earlier on, he should perhaps look to start the ball wide outside the awesome, but he's starting a bit too straight, and the ball is angling into the pads or down the leg side. So that is eat and drink there for a player of Johnson Charles caliber.
Yes, really easy pickings there for Johnson Charles with those deliveries swinging back into him. Just opening up the hip, the left leg going outside of the line of those deliveries and the hands coming through. Getting good connection on that one, going well over the boundary into that thick and deep backward square region for another 6.
So 35 after just 2.3 overs. And this time around, he has played this one off the back foot over the cover region for 6. A delightful shot. So certainly that last shot is a man that is full of confidence. Struck this one off the back foot.
Yes, Johnson Charles really camping out on the back foot, perhaps expecting a short delivery in response from Kevin Gassi, who opted to go full. But Johnson Charles was able to remain on the back foot, but really open up himself and hit that one over the cover region onto the wall. A huge hit over cover for 6.
So Kevin Gassi, 2 maximums when 2 consecutive balls considered. And this time around, opted to go short, and this time it has gone even further over the cover point region into the cemetery for 6.
Yes, a very destructive, dismissive shot, I should say, from Johnson Charles. Kevin Gassi pulling back his length after 2 full deliveries had disappeared. And Johnson Charles staying leg side of that one and finishing with a helicopter swing over the backward point region for the third 6. Third consecutive 6 with 1 delivery left to go in over number 3.
So there's a possibility that Johnson Charles can bring up a 15-ball half century. Okay, he's already on 44 in just 14 deliveries.
Yes, I myself had not realized how quickly he had moved on to 44. And he has really taken a liking to Kevin Gassi in the 2 overs that he has bowled so far.
Yeah, strike rate of 314. And certainly this one opportunity, it has gone 1 bounce. So 1 bounce into over Shainan Mesme, who was at the mid-on region. So the ball has traveled all the way close to the ropes. And the South Castries line, they have brought up their 50 in just 18 deliveries.
Yes, a very destructive power play. Johnson Charles, he has single-handedly demolished the bowling of Kevin Gassi, who was bowled 2 overs and disappeared for 40. The last over going for 24 runs. So Johnson Charles, he has really come out tonight in a no-nonsense mood. 2-run shot of what would be a really explosive half century. Not far off probably the fastest half century that we would have seen this season and in the competition. That previous delivery falling just short of the boundary going for 4. But the Soufriere Titans, they need answers. They need a wicket. And they need it now.
Yeah, certainly they need a wicket at this stage, because very ominous sign there by Johnson Charles. And the fielder, who dropped, was it Tiso? Dalius Monrose, who dropped Johnson Charles the very first ball of the match. Certainly he would be questioning himself as to what did just happen to give Johnson Charles a life, and then he has really looks like he wants to come to the party this evening.
Yes, and it looks like the Soufriere Titans here turn into their trump card, Kevin Sinclair.
Yes, certainly. They are forced to bring in the most experienced bowler, one would say, into the mix. And he will be bowling to Andre Fletcher. These two certainly would have had battles before. Short delivery outside the off stump. Played that point, and Castries does a partial stop, but no run resulted. short. This one is struck to Mesmin at the mid-off region, so no run resultant. So good start to the over so far by Sinclair. And this one, full delivery. Perhaps looking to access the offside. Ball comes up the inner portion of the bat, but travels all the way to the fielder at the long on region. 1 run resulting. So this brings Charles into strike now. And looking to heave this one. The ball came off the end of the bat. So good over so far by Sinclair. 1 run off the 4 deliveries ball so far. And not on this occasion he will be that lucky. This one is deposited over the square leg region for 6. So Johnson Charles, he has brought up his 50. He moves on to 54 of just 17 deliveries. With 3 4s and 7 6s, a strike rate of 317.65. So certainly explosive batting there by Johnson Charles.
Yes, a very dominant display there from the West Indies senior team opening batsman. He's not short of experience, and tonight he has really come to the party for the South Castries Lions when they really needed him to.
And this one looking to heave it again in the same direction. This one cannons into the pad. So despite being struck for his 6th, Kevin Sinclair, a relatively good over. Just 7 runs been considered.
Yes, the most economical over inside the power play so far. Still some 2 overs to go in that power play. So the Soufriere Titans, they really needed that over from Kevin Sinclair. They would have loved to see the back of either Johnson Charles or Andrew Fletcher for that matter. But the South Castries Lions, they are still without loss, and it looks imminent. They look set to get a very big total here this evening if the Soufriere Titans are not able to break this partnership and make further inroads into their batting lineup.
So Charles, who is coming in for his first game. So he will be bowling to Andre Fletcher. So Charles with number 96 on his back. He'll be bowling to Andre Fletcher. And Fletcher advancing down the track, but realizes this one was wide outside the off stump. Allows it to go through to the wicket keeper. So 1 additional run to the score. Score moves on to 59.
Soufriere Titans, they really need a wicket, and Jovan Charles coming in for his first game. He would love to get rid or break this partnership for his team.
And this one up in the air. With valiant effort there. But for him to have taken this, he would have had to be right on the bunch rope. He was moving towards the rope. And with that, was a boundary considered or just considered 2 runs? To me, he was
for the umpire's call. There's no signal from the umpires yet. As we see that one on the replay. One hand coming off the bat, that one going high into the night sky. Dijon Charles tracking back, always going away from him.
Play on a miss on this occasion, so it looked like the ball came off their hands and it stayed in play whilst the fielder went onto the rope. So I think the call certainly was a good call.
Certainly saving 5 runs for 3 runs for his team. And Jovan Charles, he has followed that up with a dot delivery. So a good over in the making for Jovan Charles. created a half chance. Dijon Charles did well to get to that one. But the Titans, they still need that wicket. 61 without loss, the South Castries Lions.
This one wide outside the off stump. So the second wide they have considered in this over.
A deliberate ploy there from Jovan Charles to really bowl those deliveries wide outside the off stump so far to Andre Fletcher. As he continues, runs away from us now. And that one is a full delivery, driven straight back to the bowler, who feels exceptionally well of his own bowling. Still only 4 runs off the over so far. Still 3 deliveries to come. So a good over from Jovan Charles so far.
Yes, so far a good over. He has only considered 4 runs. And he certainly would want to continue in that vein. And a big booming drive attempted outside the off stump there by Andre Fletcher. A play and a miss. So Charles continuing to do good work for his team. Only conceding 4 from 4.
A very good start to proceedings there for Jovan Charles. He would want to close out the over. It's all important that he can bowl those 4 deliveries for just 2 runs off the bat. He would need to close out the over as best as he possibly can. Deep mid wicket and long on, the 2 fielders out on the boundary.
And Trevor advances. Well, for a moment we lost the ball. We just heard it came off the bat, but it has gone over towards the extra cover region and raced over the surface for 4. So Fletcher, it looks like it's on the move finally. First real shot in aggression that he was able to put back to ball.
Yes, and Andre Fletcher, long stride forward, getting to the pitch of that delivery and driving it all along the ground for his first boundary of this evening.
And this time, advancing down the track, caught behind. The dreaded finger has been shown to Andre Fletcher. So good delivery there from Jovan Charles. Continued to maintain the outside line, just outside the off stump. He considered a boundary, but still persisted with that line of attack, and it paid dividends for him.
Just when I was thinking that whether they would have strengthened that offside boundary with a fielder, they kept the ring on the offside, tempting, luring Andre Fletcher into that booming drive outside the line of his off stump, and managing to get that feather of an edge through to keeper Julian Sylvester, who made no mistake, more importantly. Soufriere Titans finally holding on to an opportunity presented to them. And the South Castries Lions, they have lost their first wicket. Andre Fletcher, he has to go. 9 runs of 12 deliveries.
Yes, certainly one would say failure for Andre Fletcher. Having scored some 92 runs in his last outing here at the Lastic ground. So just looking at the warm chart there, certainly it's just an upward trajectory at this point for the South Castries Lions. So at the end of the 5th over, they score 66 for the loss of 1.
And just what the Soufriere Titans team would have wanted. Break this partnership, get a new batsman in. Johnson Charles, he's still out there. 54 of 18 deliveries.
Sinclair continues. Looks like a serious battle out there. And Kevin Sinclair looks like he's enjoying himself from what we can see. He's all smiles for the time being. And this occasion, Johnson Charles looking for that heave. And in typical celebration move by Kevin Sinclair, we see the flip. So Johnson Charles been castled on this occasion, looking to hit across the line. And he was bowled off stump. So the South Castries Lion losing both openers in consecutive overs.
The 3rd time that Johnson Charles had attempted that slog sweep against Kevin Sinclair. What we've seen from Kevin Sinclair in this competition, he doesn't really try to bowl those big spinning off bricks. It's more into the wicket and getting those balls to slide onto the batsman. And Johnson Charles, he really misjudged that one. And that brings the end of a very destructive innings. 54 of just 20 deliveries, 3 fours and 7 mighty sixes. But Kevin Sinclair, he has made the breakthrough for the South Castries Lions. 2 wickets in quick succession for the Soufriere Titans. They are right back in this contest.
Yeah, so 2 relatively new batters at the crease. Efron Charles and McDonald, the other overseas player for the South Castries Lions.
The Soufriere Titans team, they would want to really get a hold of this game that really was threatening to run away from them with that opening partnership between Johnson Charles and Andre Fletcher. But 2 quick wickets, one from Jovan Charles and now Kevin Sinclair getting into the act. They would be hoping that they could restrain the 2 new batters, Daniel McDonald
they've
and
lost
Efron
2
Charles.
wickets in 3 deliveries. And this one is placed and a mix-up between the... Oh, and it is... it's very comical at the end. There was a mix-up, miscommunication. The 2 almost collided. And the fielder gave chase. And the last moment, he flipped it with his right hand. But then his leg knocked it back onto the ropes. So one would say a fortuitous boundary for McDonald in these circumstances.
Yes, McDonald getting off the mark with a boundary, but the Soufriere Titans, they really need to tighten up on those errors in the field.
And this one again onto the pads, place it into the short mid-wicket region, where Charles fields 1 run resulting. So this evening, Dexter, we have about 4 Charles on show, 2 on either side. Efron Charles, Johnson Charles, and then you have Soufriere has 2 as well.
Which pair will prevail is the question, Greg.
I think we'll know by the end of the 40th over or before that. So this one is dedicatedly played towards the short foot one region where Matteo Boulogne does the fielding.
Daniel McDonald really sitting on his bat at the non-strikers end. That one trickled down to the short third man region. He had to move around to his left. That should have been an easy single.
Should have. And Efron Charles, big heave, but a power failure. Question that Sinclair wants it, and he takes it himself. So are we going to see the typical celebration of Sinclair? No, he chose not to, but a good, well, it is a cotton ball, but he certainly had to travel quite almost, 20 yards to get this one inside the 40-yard circle. So, good timely blow there by Kevin Sinclair. 2 wickets in this over.
You could see there on the replay, Kevin Sinclair really clawing away and going for that catch himself. Kurt Edward, it was coming towards him, but a clear call there from Kevin Sinclair, ensuring that he took up the opportunity himself. A cotton ball opportunity. The previous delivery, there was a quick single on offer to the short third man region that was not taken, and Efron Charles looking to press on the accelerator, really only getting that one more height than anything else and presenting an opportunity to the Soufriere Titans team. More importantly, Kevin Sinclair holding on to that one and picking up his 2nd wicket. 2 overs, 2 wickets for 13 runs. He has really been one of the better bowlers for the Soufriere Titans in this competition so far. The 2nd most economical bowler after Larry Edward. So he has really done the business for the Soufriere Titans, and they would be hoping that in his remaining 2 overs, he can continue to cause the South Castries Lions some problems.
Yeah, so the South Castries Lions losing 3 wickets in 7 deliveries. The last ball in the 5th over, they lost Andre Fletcher, and you had Johnson Charles being bowled off the 2nd ball of the 6th over, the power play. So 2 timely blows struck not over there by Kevin Sinclair.
Yes, Kevin Sinclair, he continues to produce with the ball. We've not seen with him the runs that has been expected of him at the top of the order, barring that first game. But certainly every time that the captain has called upon him with the ball in hand, he has been unplayable so far for the Soufriere Titans. Jovan Charles to continue the attack for the Soufriere Titans, bowling to Daniel McDonald. Captain Ecstasy Manuel positioned on the deep square leg boundary comes in and restricts the batsman to just one. So Jovan Charles, he had a very good previous over in which he picked up the big wicket of Andre Fletcher.
Yes, certainly persisted with that out of stump line. Well, you could say the fourth stump. And Fletcher was looking for that big booming drive and got that faint edge caught behind. So he will be looking for more success. Outside the off stump, driven but straight to the captain, who was in the way. So no run resulting.
And with those 3 wickets that have gone down for the South Castries Lions, you can see a new energy has been breathed into the Soufriere Titans out in the field. They're a lot more bubbly, a lot more mobile. They're moving about, and they look a lot more confident in their abilities there this evening.
Yes, certainly to see the back of Johnson Charles and Andrew Fletcher. This would serve as motivation. So this one is firmly driven by the captain down to Shanai Mesmin, who comes off the long on boundary. Just 1 run resulting. So the score moves on to 73 for 3.
A lot is expected of Daniel McDonald, one of the overseas players in the South Castries Lions setup. He's really not come to the party as yet. Can he deliver tonight?
Certainly advancing down the track. And he has struck it towards the point boundary where Kevin Sinclair does the fielding. Just 1 run resulting. So certainly Soufriere, they are clawing their way back into this game. Remember the South Castries Lions, they got to 51 in just 18 deliveries. So this one is clipped off the pad, full delivery by the captain, Kester Shalmine. So slow going there after the fall of those 3 wickets by the South Castries Lions.
Yeah, I would want to think that the South Castries Lions may have lost 1 wicket too many out inside the power play, and the pair of Daniel McDonald and Captain Kester Shalmine will be really looking to build a partnership and set a platform for the bigger hitters to come.
Yes, certainly with the sort of stats, can afford to push things around perhaps for the next 3 overs or up to the 10 over mark. That should get them into the 90s, and they could launch afterwards in the last 10 with wickets in hand. So this one shot outside the off stump. The batsman McDonald looking for that wide, but just 1 over the shoulder signal by the umpire. So good over again by Jovan Charles on this occasion, only conceding 4 runs.
Yes, a brilliant start to SPL 6 for Jovan Charles, coming in for his first game, having missed out on selection in the first 3 games. He has delivered 2 overs, 2 very economical overs for his team, and also picked up a vital wicket of Andre Fletcher. So 75 for 3, the South Castries Lions, having been asked to bat first here at the Francis Baba Lastic grounds. They're scoring at 10.71 so far. They have a platform. The captain, Kester Shalmine, and the overseas player, Daniel McDonald, they are out in the middle. 2 of 3 and 7 of 5 respectively, and they would be hoping that the 2 of them can push the ball around and keep the scoreboard ticking for the next 2 or 3 overs and really set a platform for the bigger hitters, the likes of Xavier Gabriel and Larry Edward, to come to really push themselves up to a commanding total. Kevin Sinclair to continue. And that one is gently worked into the leg side by Kester Charlemagne. And that looks like the youngster Caleb Charles coming in off the deep square leg boundary to field that one. Kevin Sinclair, he has brilliant figures so far into his third over. 2 for 13, sorry. He has his figures so far as they take some time to really get the field position right. He's coming right arm around the wicket to the left-handed McDonald. McDonald gives himself room, and that one is high. Is that an opportunity? Jovan Charles under it, and he completes a simple catch. And the Soufriere Titans, they continue to correct those wrongs. They continue to hold on to their chances after we saw one go down in the first over. South Castries Lions, they have lost another one of their overseas players. 76 for 4.
Yes, certainly South Castries Lions, they're not capitalizing on the good start they had. And Kevin Sinclair again picking up another wicket. This is his third he has picked up so far in his 3 overs. So Daniel McDonald caught Jovan Charles, bowled Kevin Sinclair for just 7. So the last 4 wickets for the South Castries Lions, they have really lost it in quick succession, really.
It's just when we thought that they would be focusing on a rebuilding job and building a partnership with his captain at the other end, Daniel McDonnell. He had other ideas and really wanted to take the attack to Kevin Sinclair. Really ill-advised, because Kevin Sinclair is bowling a very brilliant spell for the Soufriere Titans at the moment.
Yes, that last shot there by McDonnell, it had the height, but certainly no distance. And it was a well-judged catch in the end by Charles.
And truly, every time that the Soufriere Titans fielders do hold on to a catch, all eyes are on them this evening. They've not been doing well in that department. But tonight they've held on to a few, and they would be hoping to push on from here.
So Malcolm Monroe's the new batter. I think he'll be coming in for his first game. So both teams, they have quite a few changes. Looking to play this one off the back foot to the left of Kurt Edward at the short cover. Unable to prevent the run. So Malcolm Monroe would be pretty happy that he is off the mark. And this brings the captain Charlemagne back on strike. Slow start there by the captain, free from 4.
Kevin Sinclair ensuring that all his fielders are in the right positions. Lots of singles on offer. The South Castries Lions, they can afford to spend an over or 2, pushing along the scorecard, just as they have done on that occasion, just pushing that one into the gap, a very big gap there on the offside, and picking up a comfortable single.
Yes, certainly the fielders are pretty much out on the 40-yard circle, with the exception of Kurt now, who was taking a few steps close to the short cover, sorry. So the play and a miss there by Charlemagne. So good into the over there by Kevin Sinclair. Another successful over been completed, getting the wicket of McDonald. So after 3 overs, Kevin Sinclair has picked up 3 for 15.
Yes, Kevin Sinclair has really bowled the Soufriere Titans back into this encounter. And we could see that after the first 3 overs in the power play, which was really dominated by Johnson Charles in particular, got to a half century in 16 deliveries. Overs 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, all delivered by Kevin Sinclair, and Jovan Charles coming in for his first game. They've really brought the Soufriere Titans back into this encounter. None of these overs going close to 10, much less above 10. So they've done a very good job so far, and they would want to continue.
So Javon Charles to continue. And this one is flicked off by the captain, but the fielder, Kevin Gassi, was caught in two minds whether to come in for the catch or to hold back and prevent the possible boundary. And he chose the second option, held back. But I think a bigger effort probably could have resulted in a catch.
Gassi probably did not pick up that one off the bat immediately. Would have required him to come in a lot quicker and attack that one to make a catch out of it. Malcolm Monrose.
And this one full onto the path of Monrose. And on this occasion, he just whipped this one towards the backward square region. So he was gifted, one would think, with that last delivery. Full ball on the pad.
Yes, really the first delivery that we've seen from Javon Charles on the line of the batsman's body. He has really opted for the line outside the off stump, and it has worked in his favor. He would be ill-advised to try changing that now, although he has more protection out on the boundary with a deep backward square, deep mid-wicket, long on, long off, and a cover on the offside, but he would want to go back to what has worked for him.
This one is played off the back foot, one bounce to the fielder at the extra cover boundary. So good shot indeed by Malcolm Monrose. Perhaps needed to be a yard or two towards the left of the fielder. But still good work done nevertheless by Charles. Is back on the outside the off stump line. He was straight into the pads and was punished. So like they say, if it's not broken, why fix it?
He has adjusted well. 6 runs off the first 3 deliveries.
And this one lofted drive there by Kester Shalmine. Down to Charles on the long off boundary. 1 run resulted. So certainly the Soufriere Titans fielders, they are really encouraging the bowlers, encouraging each other. And this one was whipped off the pad again by Malcolm Monrose. A misfield by Kevin Gassi. And good aggressive running. They were able to come back for a second.
Yes, that's a very good sign for the South Castries Lions. The way that Malcolm Monrose and Kester Shalmine has applied pressure on the Soufriere Titans fielders. That one, a slight misfield and being able to capitalize and pick up another run. In 2025, in this reverse fixture, Malcolm Monrose, he did get a half century, 56, to bring his team over the line against the Soufriere Titans. So they would be expecting or hoping that he could replicate that performance in 2026.
This one outside the off stump, looking for a big booming drive. So at the end of the over, one would say a productive over for South Castries Lions, because for a while now they have not gotten anywhere close to 10 runs in an over.
Yes, 9 runs coming off Javon Charles's 3rd over. More importantly for the South Castries Lions, they did not lose a wicket in that over. The previous overs they had lost wicket. The previous 3 overs all had contributed or resulted in a wicket going down for them. So Malcolm Monrose and Kester Shalman will be looking to build a partnership, as we would have said, set a platform for the likes of Xavier Gabriel and Larry Edward to come, and even Zai Antoine. So they have the players with the skill set to really push on once a platform has been set. Kevin Sinclair, he comes in for his 4th and final over this evening.
Yes, certainly he has picked up 3 wickets so far for 15. So certainly they would want or hope that St. Clair could take them into the break with 5 wickets down. 9.1. And this one attempted slog sweep. This one is traveled towards the square leg region. So good work done on the boundary by the fielder to restrict them to just 1. So certainly we could see reinvigorated Titans after the fall of those big wickets. And a slog sweep. This one is up in the air. Possibility of a catch. And again, a better effort probably was required. You could hear that Kevin Sinclair is a bit disappointed that the fielder of the square leg boundary did not come in quickly enough. Ball dropped a few yards just short of him. And Sinclair, as we could see on the screen, he's still disappointed. Hands on the hip there, a sign that he really felt a bigger effort should have been made.
Kevin Sinclair has set a really high standard for the Soufriere Titan fielders.
Malcolm Monroe has called for the quick run, and he has completed it very easily. So Kevin Gassi coming off the short backward point region, unable to prevent that run. Again, he's deep on the 40-yard circle. So St. Clair continuing to do good work. 3 of 4 deliveries in this over. And this one is pushed towards the mid-wicket. They're contemplating on a second. But the captain, Emmanuel, is in very quickly off the mid-wicket boundary. Prevents any thought of a second. So 91 for 4. 9.5. So the South Castries Lions certainly would want to go into the break with no further loss. And this one off the back foot towards the short foot one where Gassi comes across. Prevents any single. So at this point we are going to go across to Chloe Dantes, who is going to be speaking to someone in the stand.
You're enjoying yourself right now. And it's just SPL T20 matches now. What's your name and where are you from?
So my name is Michelle, and I'm from Soufriere.
And who are you supporting?
Jade Mountain Soufriere Titans.
I love to hear that. So just now, tell me what are your predictions for today?
Sorry? So I believe that we're gonna win. Yeah. And we're actually gonna win the tournament.
You're so confident that you're actually gonna win this year?
Yes, we will.
And you're gonna come to every single match?
That's right.
I love to hear that. Back to you guys in the commentary box.
So at the halfway mark, Johnson Charles certainly was very destructive. He got some 54 of 20. Well, Malcolm Monroe's, he's at the wickets. He's on 10 of 9, and Fletcher who got to 9. But most of the heavy lifting, one would say, was done by Johnson Charles. And for the Soufriere Titans, the most successful bowler would be Kevin Sinclair. He has completed his quota, his 4 overs. He has picked up 3 for 19. And you have Javon Charles, who has picked up 1 for 21 of his 3, going at 7. And you have the Jean Charles also, who was bowled a solitary over for 11. So at the halfway stage, Dexter, which are the 2 teams you would say would be the happier?
I think the Soufriere Titans may have their noses in front at this 10-over mark because of the fact that they've gotten rid of the dangerous opening pair of the South Castries Lions, but they've also gone further and picked up 2 additional wickets. So they've reduced them to now 91 for 4. And I think that they've exposed a middle order of the South Castries Lions. That has been a problem area for them. Remember, in the previous game, it was a batting collapse that resulted in that loss against the Choiseul Craft Masters. So the Soufriere Titans would be encouraged by the start that they've had, but the South Castries Lions would be hoping that Kester Shalmine, the captain, he's still out there. Along with Malcolm Monrose, they could really build that platform. The likes of Xavier Gabriel, Larry Edward, Zai Antoine, Royce Paul, and Daniel Jean-Baptiste still to come. All of those guys could really hit a long ball and get them. They would know that they need to get to that psychological 200 mark and make a game out of this one.
Yeah, certainly we had a chance to look at the surface earlier on, and certainly it looks a good surface for batting. And here, teams who have not scored 200 runs have serious difficulty defending those totals. So certainly they would want with that sort of platform to go beyond that 200 mark.
Yes, really and truly, batting first, the lucky number has been 218. The teams that have managed to defend the batting first, that's the number they have gotten to. So the South Castries Lions, they have their work cut out for them. But the Soufriere Titans, they will want to continue the good work that they have started.
So welcome back. It looks like Javon Charles will be taking up the attack from the southern end. His ball, he's 1 over, considered some 11 runs. And this one, angling down the leg side, is struck firmly towards the backward square. Thinking of a second possibility of a run out. And not out, said umpire Cesar de Coto. But certainly from our vantage point, although we're not square, but it appeared to have been close, but the umpire would have been in the best position. So good aggressive running there by Malcolm Monrose and Kester Shalmine.
Yes, as we look at that diving effort, tumbling save there from Kevin Gassit. Good work out on the deep backward square leg boundary. But Kester Shalmine and Malcolm Monrose, they really continued from when they left off, really putting pressure on the Soufriere Titan fielders.
So Charles to continue. And again, this one angling down the leg side. A missed opportunity there by Monrose. Perhaps this one was a bit too wide to have gotten back onto it. So the Soufriere Titan certainly would want to make further inroads, especially into that middle order. As you did indicate, the last match here against the Choiseul Craft Masters really did not stand up to the pressure. So this one down the leg side again. So Charles next on this occasion, perhaps switching in really is finding it a bit difficult, probably running up the little incline here.
Yes, Dijon Charles has not been able to get his line right, and we've seen the bowlers who bowl operate from this end get the ball to move into the right-handed batsman. So he just needs to start those deliveries. He's starting them a bit too straight, and as a result, getting those balls to go wide down the leg side.
And this time outside the off stump, and Monroe's looking to access the onside. As rehearsed the shot that he perhaps should have looked to go towards the point region. And that would have been a safer shot.
Yes, and we could see Kester Shalmine at the non-strikers and really gesturing to Malcolm Monrose that there are still singles on offer. Keep the scoreboard ticking, really, is what he would have been saying to Malcolm Monrose.
Yeah, this occasion, he certainly has adhered to the captain's instruction. We saw him pushing this one towards the cover region where the captain, Excess Emmanuel, comes into field, unable to prevent a single, so the scoreboard has moved on to 96 for 4. And again, this one pushes it towards the shot mid-on region. Monrose wanted the second, but the captain Shalvine was not interested.
You could have heard from the Alton Crafton stands an echo of 2-2-2. Malcolm Monrose, you're not running with the spectators. You need to keep an eye on the captain at the other end, Kester Shalmine. That would have been a suicidal second run.
Oh, most certainly. This one short, and he took full hold of this one into the, on top of the roof of the Alton Crafton stand and out of the ground. So a big heave there by Malcolm Monrose on this occasion, being very successful.
Malcolm Monrose getting hold of that shot delivery from Dijon Charles. A statement shot there from Monrose. He has been wanting to get a piece of Dijon Charles, and on that occasion, taking full advantage of that delivery, freeing his arms and hitting that one on to the Alton Crafton stands and picking up his first 6 of the evening. He moves on to 19 of 13, and that brings up the 100 for the South Castries Lions after, with one delivery left in over number 11, 103 for 4.
Yeah, certainly. Just what the doctor would have ordered for the South Castries Lions. The last 10 overs, they certainly would want to go at more than, well, at least minimum 10 runs and over. They are going at 9.51. And this one angling down the leg side. A missed opportunity there by Monrose. So a very productive over for the South Castries Lions. Some 12 runs coming off this over.
Yes, a good productive over there for the South Castries Lions. Finally getting an over into double digits. They've not done that for some time, and that was as a result of that big hit we saw from Malcolm Monrose onto the Alton Crafton stand. So as we see in the middle overs, the Soufriere Titans, they've been able to control the scoring rate. And in that last over, Malcolm Monrose in particular getting one out of the middle and bringing the South Castries Lions and over the 10-run mark.
So as you did indicate, the last double-digit score would have come of the third over. That was the biggest over so far, where some 24 runs was considered. But since then, we've had only single-digit. So at the northern end, looks like so it looks like Caleb Charles, national under 15 player. So certainly he has been promoted to the big league. And we hope to see how he will cope with the situation out there. So certainly the captain is ensuring that the fielders are in the correct position. This one, first one wide outside the off stump, cut towards the backward point region, where Kurt Edward is in the way. Partial stop, but unable to prevent a single. So with that single, it brings Monrose onto strike. 19 of 14. And this one has been heaved towards the backward square region for 4. So bad delivery, angling into the pads, and really the batsman Monrose said thank you and got himself 4 valuable runs.
Yes, and Malcolm Monrose, he loves playing against the Soufriere Titans. And Caleb Charles coming in for his first game. He has done exceptionally well at the under 15 level. Made the Windward Islands under 15 team as well. So he has been doing well, but he needs to learn very quickly here this evening the line and length that is required here of him this evening.
And this one is up in the air. Looks like a power play. Kevin Sinclair has called for it. And he looks like he has put this one down. So Sinclair certainly called for it, coming off the extra cover region. One would have thought perhaps the fielder coming off the long off boundary would have been the best position to have taken that catch. But all in all, he covered a lot of ground, got to it, and somehow was unable to hold on. So another chance going to begin there for the Soufriere Titans. And this one up in the air again. Is it another power failure? And this one is taken on this occasion. So 2 in 2 presented to the Soufriere Titans, and the young man Caleb Charles will be very happy. His debut match, picking up a wicket in his very first over.
Yes, and a very big wicket as we look at that one. Seemed to have been a pace-off delivery. So the young man showing that he has some variety in his arsenal. And Kester Charlemagne falling into that trap and picking out Dijon Charles, the other overseas player, on the long on boundary. But this time he made no mistake holding on to that one. And the South Castries Lions, they have lost their 5th wicket with the score on 109.
Yes, so just when the Lions, after the break, would have expected the pair of Monrose and Charlemagne to continue scoring runs, we see the untimely dismissal of Kester Charlemagne looking to clear the long on boundary. So the veteran Xavier Gabriel looks like he has come to the wicket. And as you did indicate early on, Gabriel certainly can hit a long ball. It's 4, although he has not done much. 4 matches, and he has only had 7 runs.
He is capable. Alarming strike rate so far, 233. We know that he could really take the attack to the bowlers, and Caleb Charles may be one of those bowlers that the South Castries Lions has their eyes on. But he's done well so far. Only 6 runs of his first over.
Oh, and this one is ball. Xavier Gabriel playing across the line to a pitch-up delivery. And he misses this one and comprehensively bowls. So you could see how elated the young chap is. Let's look at it again. Back, just slightly back of a length. And he was across the line and comprehensively bowled. So well done, young man.
Perfect execution from Caleb Charles. In his first over, in his first game in SPL 6, he finds himself on a hat-trick. First, the wicket of the captain, Kester Charlemagne. And then following that up with a first ball dismissal of the veteran Xavier Gabriel. Getting bowled by Caleb Charles without scoring. And Caleb Charles with 1 ball left in his first over. He is on a hat-trick.
Yes, and it looks like Larry Edward would be the one in the way of that hat-trick, or maybe the victim of that hat-trick. But well done indeed by the young man. His first stint at the SPL and picking up 2 wickets in his very first over.
Yes, and after being struck for a boundary in his second delivery, he really adjusted well and learned really quickly, adjusting his length more importantly, and being able to get Kester Charlemagne with a slower delivery and then hitting that length again, going through Xavier Gabriel. hat-trick delivery. Larry Edward, the left-handed Larry Edward on strike. Another very experienced player in the South Castries Lions lineup. What a wicket it would be to get for your hat-trick. How does Larry play this one from here? In the last game, he was criticized in the manner in which he got out. Looking to take the attack with Andre Fletcher well set at the other end. He has one ball to negotiate from that of Caleb Charles. Was gone one, boundary one, back-to-back wickets. Can he complete that hat-trick? What a sight that would be here this evening.
Certainly it will be a memorable moment for the young man if he can achieve that feat. So let's see. You have a short-foot man at backward point, extra cover boundary, cover, long on, long off. And it's played towards the point region. So 1 run resulted to the end of a excellent over by Caleb Charles, conceding some 7 runs, but most importantly, picking up 2 wickets for his team, the Soufriere Titans.
Yes, an exceptional over there from Caleb Charles. His first of SPL 6. His first game coming into the 11 this evening. 1 over, only 7 runs considered, but more importantly, picking up 2 vital wickets. And really hurting the efforts of the South Castries Lions here this evening. So the Soufriere Titans, they've really gotten themselves back into the game in the middle overs, but now they're really moving forward and well ahead of the South Castries Lions at this point.
Yes, certainly the Titans would be the happier of the 2 teams after 12. And it looks like the veteran Shanai Mesmin would be introduced into the attack now. I think he's coming in for his first game. The Soufriere Titans, they had a number of changes. You did indicate 5 changes. So certainly Shanai Mesmin, one of those changes. Yeah.
Shanai Mesmin coming in for his second game. He did play the first game and he did not bowl. So this will be his first time bowling this season. But we know what he can produce with the ball. At times could prove to be very expensive. But when he does get it right, he can be a handful.
So this one is played towards the backward point region where Kevin Gassi does the fielding, but they're able to scamper through for a single. So Monrose, who seems to love performing against this opposition. 24 from 16.
Be very interesting to see how Malcolm Monrose opts to play this one from here on. He's set, he has done the hard work. He needs to go on and get a big score here for his team.
This one outside the off stump, plays out the back foot, and this is rush through the extra cover region. I even had difficulty keeping track of the ball. It travels so quickly off the bat. So 4 runs there by Malcolm Monrose, but a bad delivery there by Mesmin, short and wide outside the off stump, really begging to be hit.
Yes, and Malcolm Monrose has shown this evening that every opportunity that has been presented to him or allowed him to free his arms, that he will not hesitate. And he had seen a big shot onto the Alton Crafton stands, but that one through the offside, the field out on the cover boundary, he did not have a chance.
This one, top edge, possibility of a catch. And he looks like he held onto it. So that is a top effort there. It looked like Monroe. He was the one who dropped the very first catch. And this time around, he put in the big effort. So Malcolm Monrose is outcaught Dalius Monrose. So great effort there indeed by the young man.
Yes, Dalius Monroe's holding on to what we may describe as the more difficult of the two opportunities that has gone his way this evening. But more importantly, holding on to that one. And we see the back of Malcolm Monroe's, who threatened to really add some impetus into the South Castries Lions batting effort here this evening. A reminder that the Soufriere Titans, they won the toss and they asked the South Castries Lions to bat first. And they have done themselves justice by that decision to bowl first in the manner in which they have clawed their way back into that contest. So Malcolm Monroe, he had to go a well-played 28 of 18, but the Soufriere, the South Castries Lions, they needed him to go bigger.
Yes, certainly had a decent start, and one would have expected him to go on from there, but getting a top edge and a good running catch there by Monroe's at the short footman running back. So it was a good effort, and Mesmin himself would be pleased with the effort of the fielder, giving him good support. Being introduced into the attack, picking up a wicket after he was struck for an exquisite boundary through the cover. So Zai Antoine is the new batter. And this one, his shoulders arm allows it to go through to the keeper. So certainly a rare sight these days in T20 cricket, where you have players really shoulder and arm allowing the ball to go through to the wicket keeper.
Yes, and that is probably a sign to say that the dominance that the Soufriere Titans in Zai Antoine is not gotten amongst the runs as his South Castries Lions team would have hoped. And today, this is a very crucial innings for him.
So this one brings him in defense. So Zai Antoine, he's out there. 2 deliveries he has faced. It almost look like he's in survival mode at this point.
Yes, and with just 1 delivery left in over number 13, a very good over, economical over. More importantly for the Soufriere Titans, they've picked up another wicket. Another one of those bowlers coming in to bowl for the first time in the competition. But doing the business for the Soufriere Titans here this evening. All of their bowlers have really been on song. Because Kevin Gassi was taking a part in the power play.
And this one pushes straight to Charles at the short cover region. So very good over completed by the bowler Shanai Mesmin. 5 runs conceded, but most importantly, he was able to pick up a wicket.
Yes, Shanai Mesmin finishing off that over after being struck for a bounce of the second delivery, following up with 4 dot deliveries, one of those being the wicket of Malcolm Monroe, who really tried to swipe at a delivery that was not there for the taking. And an excellent catch from Dalius Monroe at the short, running back from the short third man region.
So certainly after that big third over, the South Castries Lions, they have really struggled to get those double-digit numbers. So it looks like Caleb Charles to continue from the northern end. This one is pushed tentatively towards the point region by Larry Edward, and able to go through for a single.
The pair of Larry Edward and Zai Antoine, they are more than capable of dealing with what's on offer there from Caleb Charles and Shanai Mesmin from the other end. The South Castries Lions would be hoping that these two could really bat the next 5 overs, really, and really get them to a more respectable total. At the moment, 116 for 7 really does not sound like a competitive total.
Sorry to disturb you.
So this one is split into the short cover region where Kevin Sinclair does the fill. This one is pushed back firmly towards the long off region where the fielder Maisman comes up the boundary, 1 run resulting. So certainly a good start to the over there by Caleb Charles.
Just very impressive from Caleb Charles so far in the 9 deliveries that we've seen from him. Only been struck for 1 boundary so far.
This one full delivery split to the long off region. A fumble there and they are able to come back for a single. So good awareness there by these two batters out there, Larry Edward and Zion one. They fumble and they were able to immediately make the decision that they're going back for the second and completed it very easily. This time around, Larry has deposited this one outside of the Lastic ground for 6 over the long on region. So a huge 6 there struck by Larry Edward.
The delivery before that, we saw some complacent effort from Dijon Charles on the long off boundary, affording the South Castries Lions 2 runs, which was really not on offer. And Larry Edward following up that one with a huge hit over the long on region. So the Soufriere Titans team, they would want to ensure that they don't allow complacency to creep into their efforts here this evening. They have done exceptionally well up until this point. Larry Edward and Zai Antoine, they are still 2 capable batsmen.
Yeah, certainly you could hear someone shouting to stay focused. So this time around, we have 11 runs coming up the over.
Yes, a very productive over there for the South Castries Lions, just what was needed from them. And as we look at the over by over chart, the Soufriere Titans, as we continue to lament on, they really controlled the middle phase of the game. In the last 5 overs, only 2 overs going over 10 runs, just to emphasize the good effort that has been done by the Soufriere Titan bowlers. Some 6 bowlers have been used by Captain Ecstasy Manuel so far. Kevin Gassi, 2 overs for 40 runs, no wickets. Dijon Charles, 2 overs, considered 23 runs. Kevin Sinclair, 4 overs, 3 for 13. Jovan Charles, 3 overs, 1 for 21. Caleb Charles, 2 overs, 2 for 19. And Shanai Maisman will continue the attack now. He has bowled 1 over, picked up 1 wicket for 5 runs so far.
So Larry Edward, the veteran we saw the last over, struck a lusty blow outside the ground. So he would want to continue. And this time around, short outside the off. So I'm looking to pull this one towards the mid-wicket region. Ball comes off the under portion of the bat, goes towards the point region, just 1 run resulting. So Edward may feel that he missed out on an opportunity.
Yes, Larry Edward is one of those batsmen he picks up length very quickly. And when he does get to free his arms against those short deliveries, he can be very effective. As we see some field changes. Field that is set for the right-handed Zai Antoine, who will be on strike. Deep backward square, deep mid-wicket, long on, long off. Sweep on the offside. The fielder's inside the circle, a point, short third, short fine leg, and a man at cover. Shanai Maisman, line of attack, right arm over the wicket.
Short rising delivery outside the off stump there to Zai Antoine. Ball goes through to the keeper. So good line of attack there by Shanai Maisman.
Yes, we've seen on 2 occasions in the over so far, he's opted for the short deliveries. 1 to Larry Edward previously, and now we see a lifting delivery to the right-handed Zahi Antoine, who's a lot shorter than Larry Edward is. Maybe an option for the batsman is to use the pace of Shanai Mesmin if he continues to deliver those deliveries. Another very good delivery there from Shanai Mesmin, lifting and wrapping Zahi Antoine on the gloves. So halfway through over number 15. South Castries Lions, 128 for 7. As we see that one on the replay again, Shanai Mesmin really bending his back, hitting the deck hard, getting some purchase.
Yeah, certainly putting in the effort. And this one, lofted drive, looks like a power failure there. And the captain, Ecstasy Manuel, pouches this one. So, rather soft dismissal, one would say, from Zahi Antoine. But good persistent bowling there by Shanai Mesmin.
Yes, Shanai Mesmin in this over really getting something out of the surface, showing how good a surface it is for batsmen and bowlers. If you're prepared to do the hard work, he really bent his back in this over, getting those deliveries to jump at Zahi Antoine, wrapping him on the gloves in the previous delivery. And Zahi Antoine pushing at that one, which got big on him, presenting a straightforward opportunity to Captain Ecstasy Manuel, coming in from the long off region. And more importantly for the Soufriere Titans, he was able to hold on to that catch. The South Castries Lions, they are in further trouble, 127 for 8.
Yes, the South Castries Lions, they may very well be in danger of being bowled out because they are just into the 15th over and some 8 wickets are down. So Royce Paul, the new batsman. So this one wrapped on the pad, but it looked like it was angling down the leg side. So the Soufriere fielders, you could really hear them out in the middle. They know that they have done some serious inroads into the batting and they would really want to wrap this inning up as quickly as possible.
Yes, with Larry Edwards still out in the middle, you know, his wicket would be very key.
So this one, he drives on the up towards the cover region. But the fielder feels cleanly and fires this one into the wicketkeeper. No possibility of a second run. So certainly Royce Paul and Larry Edward. Still some 5 overs remaining. And these two would want to at least get the team over 150. Although, Dexter, we know this would certainly would be a below par total. But at least they would give the bowlers something to fight with.
Yes, the batsmen that are remaining for the South Castries Lions, Royce Paul, who is out in the middle at the moment, and Daniel Jean-Baptiste still to come. They would want to bat for as long as possible with Larry Edward. Hopefully he himself could stay there for the remaining 5 overs. It's just 15 overs have been bowled. Still some.
It looks like.
See Larry Edward doing some gardening out there, testing out that length that Caleb Charles has consistently been able to hit. He has caused some trouble for the batsman out in the middle. And in the previous over, he deposited Caleb Charles over the long on region.
This one, he placed it into the copper region. The amble for a single. Charles to continue, and this one, Paul's push it straight towards the long on region where Charles comes across and does the fielding, 1-run result in. So the South Castries Lions, they move on to 131. And Larry Edwards has gone deep into his crease and deposited this one towards the mid-wicket region for 6. So good batting there again by Larry Edwards.
Yes, Larry
going
Edwards.
deep into the crease.
And really, the second 6 that he has hit off the bowling of Caleb Charles. And he has been out there for some 9 deliveries, races up to 20. The South Castries Lions would need him to continue.
And this time around, he has advanced along the wicket and he has clipped this one over the backward square region for 6. So Larry Edwards really using his experience and putting the youngster under the pump.
Yes, in the previous one, he stepped back into his wicket and turning a length delivery into a much shorter delivery and being able to pull that one over deep mid-wicket. And on that occasion, advancing towards the bowler and getting that one on the half volley, flicking it high and long over the deep backward square region for 6. So good batsmanship there from Larry Edward.
Yes, certainly. He's bringing all his experience to bear this evening. And the youngster, as you indicate, national under 15 player. He certainly has to learn on the job this evening. So on this occasion, Edward was looking to push this one towards the cover, looking for a strike. But on this occasion, ball coming off the inner portion of the bat and goes straight back to the bowler. So a good productive over for the South Castries Lions. Some 15 runs coming off the over.
Yes, 15 runs to the benefit of the South Castries Lions. They would be very happy with that over. But it's good to see some aggression there from Caleb Charles after that dot delivery to finish up his over. This young man is really up for the challenger this evening. But Larry Edward, he's still fighting fire with fire. He's 25 of 11. Royce Paul at the other end, just getting into his own 3 or 4. The South Castries Lions will be hoping these two could really push on in the remaining 4 overs and get their score up to in the region of 180, they would hope.
Yes, certainly the way Edward has been batting, he's batting very sensibly. And the Lions certainly would want him there for the remaining 24 deliveries. 24 deliveries, there's a strong possibility of getting 40 plus, even 50 runs.
Larry Edward will have a big say in where the South Castries Lions end up. As we see the reintroduction of Dijon Charles, he's coming in for his 3rd over. Exas has used him in the back end and he has delivered in the previous games. He has bowled 2 overs for the 23 runs this evening. He has not picked up a wicket. Right-handed Royce Paul on strike. Will he be looking to get Larry Edward back on strike, or will he be looking to really take the attack? Some indecision in the Soufriere Titans camp. We see Dijon Charles had the ball marking his run-up, but that decision has since changed. It will be Shanai Mesmin to come in and bowl his 3rd over. He had bowled 2 overs, picked up 2 wickets for just 6 runs. So he was in the middle of a brilliant spell, and they would want for him to continue.
Yeah, most certainly. This one angling down the leg side. Wide call by umpire Leo Amide. certainly Royce Paul, I would think the best thing would be to look to get up strike and get Larry Edwards, because he's really been hitting the ball cleanly this evening. This one he pushes off the back foot towards the extra cover region. 1 run resulting. So certainly Larry Edward would be back on strike, and Larry would be hitting with the wind in the direction of the cemetery. So anything on his leg or thereabout middle, he can afford to play that cross-batted shot. And once you get the elevation, normally with that strong breeze, it usually takes it over the boundary rope. So what would be the approach there of Larry Edward? Certainly he would need to get the South Castries Lions a score of 160, 170 plus. And this one is short. Well, how would you describe that shot? Certainly he was looking to attack and at the same time taking evasive action.
I would be very worried with what I'm seeing out there. Larry Edward, he does not have a helmet on. And we've just seen Jaden Sales to Jeremiah Louis in the first class season getting hit in a helmet in his head. Had to be stretched off. Not asking that this happens here, but it's very dangerous as this one is hit high by Royce Paul. An opportunity. Dijon Charles under it, and he completes the catch. So Royce Paul perishes. He has to go against the run of play. Looking to take on that short delivery from Shanai Mesmin. Only managing to get more elevation than distance. And Dijon Charles making no mistake.
Yeah, certainly a good, well-judged clutch there by Charles. And the South Castries Lions, they have lost their 9th wicket. So Central Castries, the South Castries Lions, sorry, they are in danger next of possibly being bowled down.
Yes, again we see that middle order from the South Castries Lions really not being able to support the openers and the top order. The bulk of the damage was done by Johnson Charles inside of the first 3 overs really. But from there on, the Soufriere Titans, they had managed to pick up wickets in clusters, reduce the scoring rate and control it rather in the middle overs. And the South Castries Lions, they've not been able to respond well in partnerships. But credit must be given to the Soufriere Titans fielders and their bowlers this evening.
Yes, certainly vast improvements on the fielding, despite dropping Johnson Charles of the very first ball of the match. But since then, they have really done well, especially in the catching department.
Yes, they've improved in that area tremendously.
So the new batsman, Daniel Jean-Baptiste.
Scored 146 for 9. 2 deliveries left in over number 17. A brilliant spell from Shanai Mesmin, bowling for the first time in SPL 6. Raising his hand high here this evening for his team.
So Jean-Baptiste in defense. Looks like Larry Edward wanted the single. So Daniel Jean-Baptiste certainly would. Either he can get 2, he gets a boundary, or he remains on strike. But certainly he does not want a single at this point.
More importantly, he does not want to get out. He needs to stay there with Larry Edward, and they need to bat the remaining overs. Still 3 overs left after this one.
And he goes for the big expansive drive. Well done on the boundary there by Charles, the long off boundary. Saves certainly 4 runs, but the umpire still indicates that there's still 1 delivery left.
So the South Castries Lions, they creep closer to that 150 mark. 148 for 9. Still 1 delivery left in over number 17, sorry. Looks to be that that's the end of over number 17. So the South Castries Lions, after 17 overs, they are 148 for 9.
Yes, I did indicate earlier on that with that last delivery, Daniel Jabatis really didn't need to get a boundary, or he doesn't want to steal a single off the last ball. And it was surprising that he took a single and the umpires was still out in the middle, contemplated that there was still a delivery left. But the South Castries Lions, they are pushed on to 148 for 9. And still some 18 delivery left in the inning. So Larry Edwards and Daniel Jabatis, the last pair. And Dexter certainly would need to get the team to at least minimum 165, 170.
Yes, the job for Daniel Jabatis in the previous delivery was to not get out. He got a single. What the South Castries Lions would want is for him to get off strike now and allow Larry Edward to really continue to produce the goods that he has done in the previous 2 overs.
And this one is like it's going to be caught behind. So wide delivery outside the off stump. Really just spun at this one. Got the outside edge. And the wicketkeeper Sylvester did the rest. So a soft dismissal there. When you're just thinking that all you need to do is to get Larry Edward back on strike. Basically, the South Castries Lions, they are all out for less than 150 runs, all out for 148.
Yes, a really loose delivery there, one must say, from Dijon Charles from the Players Pavilion end. A loose delivery outside the off stump, and Daniel Jabatis just hanging his bat out there, almost walking into that delivery, maybe in an effort to try and get a quick single down to the third man region, but only succeeding in getting a fair edge through to keeper Julian Sylvester, who completes his second catch of the evening. And the Soufriere Titans, they did improve in that part of their game this evening, holding on to a lot more catches. We did see a few go down, but they did do better, and that resulting in 100, and the South Castries Lions being bowled out in 148 of 17.1 overs. As we just run through the scorecard for the South Castries Lions, having been asked to bat first by Captain Extus Emmanuel Johnson Charles. He got off to a flyer in the power play. He got to 54 of just 20 deliveries, 7 sixes and 3 fours. Andre Fletcher, he did not get going tonight. He needed 21 to get on top of the run scorers chart. He was not able to do that. He got out, caught Julian Sylvester off the bowling of Jovan Charles coming in for his first game. 9 of 12 deliveries with 1-4. Ephraim Charles coming in for his first game was caught and bowled Kevin Sinclair. A brilliant catch running all the way into the cover region. He went without scoring. Daniel McDonald, the other overseas player in the South Castries Lions setup, he really struggled in the middle, only getting to 7 of the 6 deliveries that he faced with 1 boundary. He was caught Jovan Charles on the deep mid-wicket boundary, bowled Kevin Sinclair. Kester Shalmine, the captain, he tried to stabilize things in tandem with Malcolm Monrose out in the middle, but he had to go 10 of 14. Caleb Charles, the debutant, getting his wicket. Dijon Charles taking that catch. Malcolm Monrose was explosive in the middle. He tried to reel the South Castries Lions team over the line, but he perished in the end. He was bowled. He was caught, of Monrose bowled Shanai Mesmin, 28 of 18, 3 fours and 1 mighty 6 over the Alton Crafton Sands. Xavier Gabriel. He had no answer to the discipline of Caleb Charles. He was bold of the first delivery he faced. Larry Edward, he remained not out. 27 of 12 deliveries, 3 sixes. Zai Antoine, he struggled. 1 run of the 8 deliveries he faced. He was caught on the long off boundary by Captain Ecstasy Manuel off the bowling of Shanai Mesmin, who really closed out the innings well for the Soufriere Titans. Royce Paul was also caught by Dijon Charles off the bowling of Shanai Mesmin. And lastly, Daniel Jean-Baptiste, he was caught. Julian Sylvester bowled Dijon Charles. He got to 1 of those 4 deliveries. And doing the damage for the Soufriere Titans, it was Kevin Sinclair, 4 overs, 3 for 19. And impressive figures also from Shanai Mesmin, 3 overs, 3 for 11. Another debutant, Caleb Charles, 3 overs, 2 for 33. He bowled really well in his first 2 overs and were ably supported by Dijon Charles, 2.1 overs, 1 wicket for 23 runs. Kevin Gassi, he was not treated nicely in the power play by Johnson Charles. He bowled 2 overs and conceded the 40 runs. But all in all, the Soufriere Titans would be very happy with their efforts out in the field, bowling out the South Castries Lions for 147 runs.
Yes, certainly 147. That would be considered a below par total. But as they say, runs on the board is runs on the board. So we're going to take a break and we're going to resume the broadcast when the Titans are going to reply to that 148 for victory.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Ensure that you got your tickets. We heading down the road. We lining our Bobby this Where the people representing Soufriere Titans make some noise. Where the South Castries Lions, let me hear your roar. Let's go! I just love when I come to the party. Such ladies that know naughty. Some boom boom fat, some boom boom small. Some of them boom like that. So we outside tonight, but you know something looking alright. I looking in the crowd, JV, and some people look like they're in a prayer meeting. Some people look like they're doing a rosary on now, so I don't know why. If you believe your team going to win tonight, make some noise! Somebody from Soufriere come and tell me that's a no run for them. South Castries, can you defend it? Make some noise! Big up yourself, my girl. Big up yourself. Yes, nice. You came early. Some of them reach later. They want to come and call shot. Some of them reach after the catch happened. And it's me they want to blame. Want to deprive me of my queen. I want you to play a song for the people right now, JV. Tell them! They've been wanting this for a while. Deal with them in a style. When stars align, greatness shines on in space and time. So still rise. The grace and the faith in the morning. Chains and oil. I am a backpack and a ready. Look at me! How you mean?
And welcome back to the Babalastic ground, where we're going to see the Soufriere Titans. They're going to be replying to South Castries 148. In South Castries stint at the crease, the main contributor was Johnson Charles, 54 from 20. Malcolm Monroe's 28 from 18. And Larry Eder, 27 from 12. And the chief destroyer for the Titans, Shanai Mesbin, bowling for his first time in the tournament, 3 for 11. St. Clair, 3 for 19. And you had Caleb Charles making his debut, picking up 2 for 33. So all in all, Dexter, the South Castries Lions, did they get enough runs on the tin to defend this evening?
We would have to wait and see if 148 runs is defendable here at this venue. History and statistics will tell you that the South Castries Lions are way off what we normally describe as a pass score at a particular venue. And here at the Francis Babalastic grounds, historically is known for high scoring ground. But such was the brilliance for the Soufriere Titans team in their turn in the field, that they were able to bowl out the South Castries Lions. But now they need to continue that momentum, or take that momentum into their batting effort.
Yes, and it's going to be Kevin St. Clair and Matthew Bologne, the two openers out in the middle. Matthew Bologne coming in for his first game. St. Clair really started the tournament well. He had gotten a half century, some 70 odd. I think it was 72 in the very first game he played. So Daniel Jean-Baptiste pick up the attack for the South Castries Lions from the northern end. And good first delivery to St. Clair. St. Clair could do no more than defend. Good back of a lane delivery.
It's a good start there from Daniel Jean-Baptiste. And St. Clair, we have seen that he's a very explosive batsman inside the power play. Actually, he has the highest strike rate among batsmen in SPL 6 in the 3 games that he has played so far.
This one shot outside the off stump. Looking to force this one through the cover region. So Daniel Jean-Baptiste, tall chap, extracting a fair bit of bounce out of the surface.
Yes, a good effort delivery there from Daniel Jean-Baptiste. That one hit the wicketkeeper's glove really hard, and pushing him back a few steps actually when he caught that one.
This one is in defense because towards the short backward point region, and they're able to scamper through for a single. So the Jade Mountain Soufriere Titans, they are off and running.
Matthew Bologne coming in for his first game this season in the 2025 edition of the SPL. He was the leading run scorer for the Soufriere Titans. So he has been with them the second season that he has been with them. And every time that he plays, he's in and amongst the runs. Let's see how he starts his season off.
And this one, a leading edge, and it looks like it's going to way all the way to the boundary. Really squared him up a bit, and the ball went towards the backward point region. It was in the air for a while, but perfectly bisected the two fielders. And Matthew Bologne is up and running for 48 runs.
Yes, a sigh of relief there from Matthew Bologne. That one really making some height on him, being able to drop the hands quickly enough and keep that one down and in the gap, more importantly.
And this time again, pushes at this one. Was guided on this occasion down to the wide vacant Foodman region for 4. So perhaps just a little too much room on this last occasion, and he really guided this one down the vacant Foodman boundary for 4.
Yes, Matthew Bologne really using the pace that Daniel Jean-Baptiste is extracting out of the surface and getting 2 boundaries into that third man region. And now we see the field is being adjusted. The third man is being placed back on the boundary, and the fine leg fielder comes in the circle.
And better delivery on this occasion. Slightly outside the awesome, looking to play across the line and rehearsing the shot that he perhaps should have gone straight down the middle, and would have been a much better shot, looking to hit over the bowler's head. But a good over there for the Soufriere Titans. Some 9 runs coming up the over.
Yes, a good start to the chase for the Soufriere Titans. Mateo Bolon getting 2 boundaries in that first over from Daniel G. Baptiste. But just like when the South Castries Lions were batting, the Soufriere Titans know that they needed early wickets. The South Castries Lions, they now with the ball in hand would know the importance of getting early wickets against the Soufriere Titan team.
Talking about getting early wicket, they have called upon the services of the veteran Xavier Gabriel in the game against, Grosley at the Park. He was called to close the inning. Daniel Chavata's 4 matches played so far, he has picked up 3 wickets. Economy rate of 8.2. So as I did indicate, the veteran Xavier Gabriel will be taking up the attack from the southern end. Oh, and this is a wayward delivery down the leg side. And it has gone all the way for 4. So a bad start there to the over there by Xavier Gabriel.
Yes, a real loosener there from Xavier Gabriel, coming in full steam from the commentary box end. But that one, like we have seen previously from this end, there is some movement on offer into the right-handed batsman. And that one started off on the leg stump and just kept moving further away from the diving Andre Fletcher.
So certainly he would need to get the radar right. And down the leg side again. White signal by umpire Leo Amide. This last delivery really cannoned into the pads there of Kevin Sinclair. Missed opportunity there. And this one up, and it's going to go in our direction. And over the roof for 6. So this one was in the slot. And Sinclair needed no second invitation, playing that lofted drive there. And 6 delightful run there struck by Kevin Sinclair.
So far, what we've seen of Kevin Sinclair, no bowler has been able to keep him quiet in the power play. In the 4 matches that he has played, he has been striking at 256.8 to the highest strike rate among all batsmen in this season's SPL. So it was just a matter of time. Xavier Gabriel getting too close to him on that occasion, and he deposits that one back over the bowler's head for the first 6 of the evening.
Yes, certainly the veteran Xavier Gabriel will have to bring all his experience to bear. He's up against a formidable batsman in that of Kevin Sinclair, as you did indicate. He has the highest strike rate. Certainly he's a no-nonsense player. If it's in the slot, certainly it will go. So, Xavier Gabriel certainly not pleased with his run, had to abort At halfway. And this one back up a lane, plays it towards the man at the gully region. 1 run resulted. So on this occasion, Xavier has pulled back his length quite a bit.
Yes, and a much better delivery, but good batsmanship being shown here by Kevin Sinclair, getting the single after hitting him for that almighty 6. And the Soufriere Titan supporters who have traveled all the way here to the Francis Babalastic ground in Grosile would be very pleased with what they've seen from Kevin Sinclair so far.
Yes, certainly. So Boulogne, it from free. Delivery there, shot into the ribcage there of Matteo Boulogne. We got head from from the distance here.
Good hostility there from Xavier Gabriel. That's what he's known for. A tearaway quick, not as young anymore, but he's showing that he still has the ability to crank it up when needed. Matteo Boulogne getting that one on the body. How does he respond now?
And this one, quick one. And Fletcher is really applauding him, asking him to keep the fire going. This one, certainly the quickest we've seen for this evening.
Yes, most definitely. And as I was just saying, that when required, Xavier Gabriel, he does have the ability to really crank up those deliveries and get his pace up into that mark that really makes the batsman uncomfortable, almost spinning Matteo Boulogne off his feet. One delivery left in over number 2. Yes. 22 without loss, the Soufriere Titans.
Yes, certainly. Xavier Gabriel is getting quite a bit of encouragement there from wicketkeeper Andrew Fletcher. And this one, he's just spraying it down the leg side. So just releasing the pressure momentarily.
Yes, Matteo Boulogne getting 2 quick short deliveries. The last one going down the leg side. You'd want to see the end of this over.
And this one is into the body, back of a length. Mixed up there. So Matteo Boulogne showing that he's wringing the hand. It looked like he may have gotten this one on the arm. So certainly a fiery over there by Xavier Gabriel. He did concede quite a few runs. Some 14 runs came off the over. But certainly had Matteo Boulogne in a spot of bother.
Yes, 14 runs, 5 of those coming by the extras route. But a very fiery over there. A quick over from Xavier Gabriel, hitting Matteo Boulogne twice in that over. And the Soufriere, the South Castries Lions, if they are to prevail here this evening, they would need a brilliant spell from Xavier Gabriel. Not just Xavier Gabriel, but all of their bowlers need to really come to the party here this evening. But a good start for the Soufriere Titans so far, 23 without loss after 2.
Yes, certainly. Going at 11.5. So certainly they would need the big fast bowler. Daniel Jabati to fire from the other end. This one is up in the air. Outside edge, and it goes down to the vacant footman boundary for 4. So another fortuitous boundary for St. Clair. Looking to hit this one on the up.
Yes, and that just shows the signs of confidence from St. Clair, really advancing and looking to hit that one on the up. A ball which really came up as high as probably his chest. We're inside the power play, and fortune continues to favor the brave.
And certainly St. Clair through the kitchen sink at this one. And good sign there that both fast bowlers showing sign of aggression there.
Yes, South Castries Lions really looking to make use of that new ball, really look to hit the deck hard and cause the opening pair of the Soufriere Titans some trouble, make them work hard for every run that they are to score here this evening.
And this occasion again, just a little too full. And this one is deposited on the roof of the players' pavilion and out of the ground. So Daniel Jabat is really undoing the hard work, just bringing this last delivery a touch too full. And he was made to pay the price.
Yes, ill-advised to really get so full to Kevin Sinclair, who has shown that he's in good form. Probably does not have the runs to show in the tournament so far, barring that first innings of 70 odd in the first game by the Soufriere Titans. But he has shown that when those deliveries are delivered to him that are in his half, too full, that he's not shy to present the full face of the bat and capitalize.
So we have that 6. Sinclair has moved on to 18 of 9. What is the response of Daniel Jabatis would be? No fast bowler likes to be hit for 6. And this one, even better shot. This one was struck off the back foot, but one bounce. Oh, the umpire signaling 6, but from this vantage point, it looks like 4 to us. But it is 4, and umpire would have to reverse the decision. So, but that was a good shot off the back foot there by Kevin Sinclair.
Yes, Sinclair on that occasion really premeditating what the bowler would have done and stayed leg side of that one and hitting it over the offside and picking up another boundary for the Soufriere Titans.
Good Yorker limb delivery there by Jabatis. Good response.
Yes, a very good Yorker delivery there from Daniel Jabatis. So it's been dot or boundary so far in this over. He would want to end this over with another dot ball. Just one delivery left in over number 3.
Yes, certainly 4.66, 4 and dot. So as you indicate, is it a boundary or a dot? So having been struck for 3 boundaries, I think he may very want to have a dot ball to finish off or a wicket. And this one again is struck high in the air, possibility of a catch, and it is taken. Good catch there by, is it McDonald? He was inside the 40-yard circle, made off, and he probably would have traveled a good 20 yards towards the extra cover boundary. Always had his eyes fixed on the ball, and at the end was able to pull off a good catch. And they needed to see the back of Kevin Sinclair, and that they were able to do.
Yes, an excellent catch there from Daniel McDonald, really showing his experience of playing under lights, keeping his eye on that ball and managing to keep hold of it once it hit his palm. So Kevin Sinclair, he has to go 22 of 12, 2 4s and 2 6s. He would be very disappointed because apart from that first game that the Soufriere Titans chased, we have not seen Kevin Sinclair really put a prize on his wicket in SPL 6. He has been brilliant with the ball, but with the bat, some of the Soufriere supporters will be very disappointed in the manner in which he got dismissed here this evening.
Yes, most certainly. But the Soufriere Titans, they are up a decent start. 37. And they are, well, that was at the end of the third over. The South Castries Lions, after 3, they had already gotten to 51. So they would have scored some 14 runs more than the Titans. But the Titans, knowing they only have 149 to get, they certainly would be pleased with the start they have gotten.
Yes, that just emphasizes the brilliance or how effective the Soufriere Titan bowlers were in that middle phase of the game as Xavier Gabriel continues from the commentary box end. And Mateo Bologna has really struggled to get in line with those deliveries. But Xavier Gabriel continues to bowl on the line of his body, at times erring a bit too straight and being called wide on that occasion by the umpire.
Yeah, Bologna just getting inside the line of that delivery. And just allows it to go through to the keeper. It's down the leg side, so he knew that he would always have gotten the wide. So one additional run to the Titans. And this one, short delivery, attempted pull shot, and it has gone all the way for 6. So another 40-meter shot there, but they all will count. And Mateo Bologna certainly been peppered there by Xavier Gabriel.
Yes, and Mateo Bologna, as we look at that one on the replay, getting bat onto that one finally, and that one sailing over the keeper's head all the way for 6. Testimony to the pace at which Xavier Gabriel is bowling here this evening at the Francis Lastic grounds. And Mateo, he continues to fight out there in the middle. He has moved up to 14 of 7 as we see some, looks like cold spray has been brought out for Mateo. He had been struck about the body on a couple of occasions by Xavier Gabriel. He finally laid bat onto one, getting a top edge that sailed all the way for 6. Only one legal delivery has been bowled so far in over number 4.
And short delivery, jumping back in defense. The possibility of a run out by Larry Edwards there. So you could see the fielders, they are clutching their heads. So it means that it looked like it was a very close call. But we are not in line with the square and with the crease, sorry. So it will be difficult for us to see. But just on the reaction of the fielders, you could have seen it was a very close call there.
Yes, another short delivery from Gabriel. That one tucked into the leg side by Bologna, but who was on the back foot. And Darius Monroe really called him through for a quick single that he probably was not expecting. Larry Edward coming in quickly, picking up with his throwing arm and almost effecting the run out. But a good single there for Mateo Bologna. Getting off strike, it's good to keep the scoreboard and keep the strike rotating so that Xavier Gabriel now has a right-handed batsman, Darius Monroe, to bowl to.
This time they go for a quick single. This one was on the line of the body. He just tucked it away towards the shot. Backward square fielder was Daniel Jean-Baptiste. And they were off for a quick single. So again, keeping the scoreboard ticking.
Let's keep an eye on Darius Monroe. That last single, he looked to have limped half of that run. Just something to keep an eye on. The South Castries Lions would want to keep an eye on that and get the throw into his end.
So Bologna deep into his crease, anticipating a short pitch delivery. And Xavier Gabriel, change of pace, really outfoxed him on that occasion. Could do no more than defend.
Soufriere Titans, they're still scoring at 12.55 runs per over, well above the required rate at this point in time.
Bologna again jumping back in defense. So quick single taken by the Titans. Looks like the fielders are hanging back right at the edge of the 40-yard circle.
Yes, we've seen a few edges gone through the short third man region and even over the keeper's head, such as the pace that is being generated from Xavier Gabriel and even Daniel Jean-Baptiste from the other end. So the fielders are really hanging back on the circle.
This one shot outside the off stump. A play and a miss, looking to guide this one towards the backward point region. So another good productive over for the Soufriere Titans. 47 after 4.
As we see the comparison in the scoring rate at this point. The towers are not as tall. That was the Johnson Charles effect for the South Castries Lions. But nonetheless, because of a required rate of just above 6 runs and over, the Soufriere Titans, they are in control of this chase at this very moment.
Yes, that's the beauty sometimes of batting second. You're chasing a lower moderate score. You know exactly at what you really need to go. There's not any scoreboard pressure. So at this point, the Soufriere Titan Worms is not close to that of the South Castries Lion, because that would have been the phase where Johnson Charles would have been batting. So Jabatis to continue from the northern end. 1 for 23. And this one, big lusty blood, look like it's going away all the way over the cover region as Motherback out of the ground. So good shot struck there by Matteo Boloin. This one again, Daniel Jabatis getting a bit too full.
Daniel Jean-Baptiste, having seen what Xavier Gabriel had done to Matteo in the previous 2 overs, why would you want to run up and bowl a half volley to the young man? But Matteo Boloin needed no second invitations, and really somebody has to pay for the blows that he has suffered from the bowling of Xavier Gabriel, and he deposited that one over the cover region for 6.
Oh, good Yorker length delivery and his bowl. So good response there by Daniel Jabatis. Again, Matteo Boloin was comping on the back foot, thinking that it would have been a short delivery at him. And that full delivery had him bowl. So good comeback there by Daniel Jabatis.
Yes, Daniel Jean-Baptiste going full for that Yorker, going for the kill really. And Matteo Boloin, as you would have said, camping on that back foot, probably expecting a short delivery, was not able to get the bat down in time. That one coming off the bottom edge, as we see it on the replay, squeezing that one out, but not being able to prevent it from dislodging the bills. Matteo Boloin, he has to go for 22 of 12 deliveries, 2 4s and 2 6s. Daniel Jean-Baptiste, he picks up his 2nd wicket.
Yes, certainly the South Castries Lions, they need to continue picking up wickets if they are to come out victorious. They would need to bowl out the Titans. What do we want to think? So the new batsman, Dejon Charles, spotting the number 52. So Daniel Jabatis. Well, Dejon Charles, as we can see, he has played 4 matches so far. He has amassed 127 runs. So certainly Daniel Jabatis would be buoyed by that last wicket of Matteo Boloin. And this one comes off the, is it the pad? Yes, it is, and 4-leg buys. So perhaps just straying a bit onto the pads there, and the ball coming off the pad and running down for the fine leg boundary very quickly. So another 4 added to the score. 57 for the loss of 2. Full delivery there by Jabatis, looking for that Yorker length. Ball coming off the bottom edge of the bat. No run resulting, so further 91 run required from 15.2 overs. And this one down the leg side again. So Daniel Jabatis certainly struggling in this over. Yes, he has picked up a wicket, but he has not got the consistent line and length that would be required of him.
Daniel Jabasti is really striving there for extra pace and losing control of his line and length in the process. Just need to get back to the basics and what has worked for him in the 2 wickets that he has picked up.
This one shot back of a length, and it was played just on this edge of the square and able to scamper through for a quick single. So 59 for the loss of 2. Still in the power play.
Required run rate has gone below 6. So the Soufriere Titans, they are in control at the moment. The South Castries Lions, they would need more wickets.
And this one is played over the infield and it's going to go into the cover boundary. For 4 again, Daniel Jabates. Every time he has really brought that ball up on the half volley, he has been punished.
Yes, and that brings the end to another over. Daniel Jabatis, he has sent down 3 overs, 2 for 35. Soufriere Titans, they need a further 85 runs for remaining 15 overs at a rate of 5.67. So really less than a run a ball required here from this stage on by the Soufriere Titans for victory. And at the middle, in the middle for them, Darius Monroe's 5 of 3. His role really is to continue taking the attack to the South Castries Lion bowlers. And Dijon Charles, he has really been Mr. Consistent for the Soufriere Titans. He's the leading run scorer in this season's SPL so far.
So it looked like the captain, Kester Shalman, will be taking up the attack from the southern end. So certainly he needs to come into the attack and make inroads immediately. The Lions, they need a few wickets. We saw when they were batting, they lost wickets at time in clusters. So this is the same thing they would be required if they are to pull off a victory this evening.
See a field change, the 2 fielders out. We're still inside the power play. Final over of the power play to be bowled by Kester Shalmine. 2 fielders out, a deep backward square leg and a deep point fielder. The slip is still in place.
This one is driven. Looks like over the long on boundary for 6. So good lofted drive there by Devon Charles.
Yes, Dijon Charles picking that one up high over the head of the man inside the circle at mid-on. But he hit that one sweetly. The timing on that one was perfect, and that went over the boundary rope for his first 6 of the evening.
So immediately that's brought about a change in the field. Xavier Gabriel now has been asked to drop on the long on boundary. The mid-wicket fielder has been brought in. And this one outside the off a big expansive drive there, play and a miss. So this one again was certainly in the slot, but on this occasion just perhaps a little too wide.
Yes, and with only the deep point fielder out on the offside, any bat on that one may have gone through the third man region or over the cover region and resulted in a boundary.
This one struck him on the pad and it has gone down to the vacant fine leg boundary for 4. So Kester Shalmine really, one would have thought he been introduced into the attack would be picking up wickets, but actually he's looking out runs. So you're looking at some 10 runs so far And what? 3 deliveries more?
Yes, and the Soufriere Titans, they're striking at 13.27. That's their run rate, the current run rate inside the power play, 73 for 2 halfway through over number 6.
And this one, his split was the backward point region, just using the pace. Really delicately played there. And it was time to perfection, well placed indeed. And Zion one on the boundary, moving across to his right, but just could not stop it. So good shot there by Charles.
Yes, earlier in the over, Dijon Charles showed us his power, hitting at 6 over long on. And on that occasion, showing finesse and opening the face, getting that one past the fielder at short third man and to the right of the deep point fielder, and picking up his second boundary off the bat in this over.
This one wide outside the off stump and wide signal by the umpire. So Kester Shalman, the captain, is really struggling last over of the power play. Certainly they needed a bigger effort from him.
Yes, and the required run rate has dipped below 5. So Soufriere Titans, they continue to stamp the authority here this evening.
And this one is played towards the backward point region where Zion comes to his right and does the fielding. So one more to the score. 78 we are.
See a field change for the right-handed Dalius Monrose. Long off comes into the circle and long on drops back. So the two fielders out, deep backward square, and long on. Two deliveries left in the power play.
This one angling down the leg side and wide call by umpire Leo Amide. So the captain, Kester Shalman, really not leading by example, releasing the pressure. Some 80 runs in the power play. Good Yokalem delivery there. Unable to do much other than defend. So at the end of the power play, a very productive power play for the Soufriere Titans. They got some 80 runs, and at the end of the power play, the South Castries Lions, they were 72 for the loss of 3.
Yes, a very good effort from the Soufriere Titans so far, putting themselves in a good position in this chase of 148 runs here this evening for victory. The South Castries Lions, they came out with all guns blazing with their two opening bowlers, Xavier Gabriel and Daniel Jean-Baptiste, really turning on the afterburners and getting some really two quick spells from either end, resulting in 2 wickets for them. But the Soufriere Titans, they've kept themselves in the contest well ahead of the required rate. But the South Castries Lions, they've not held themselves in with the ball. Some 19 extras have already been considered.
Yes, certainly with too many extras. And the veteran Larry Edward has been introduced into the attack, and first delivery struck straight back over his head for 4. So what a way Charles has greeted Edwards.
Yes, and Dijon Charles, he has shown that once the spinners deliver anything close enough to him, that he will go via the aerial route, and he loves to hit the ball straight. So Larry Edward, having not bowled in the previous game, being greeted here with a boundary.
This one is struck firmly towards the right of Xavier Gabriel on the long off boundary, unable to go across and cut it to prevent the fall. But again, this one powerfully struck. Again, it was in the slot by Larry Edward. No second invitation needed.
Yes, after the first boundary straight back past the bowler, we saw the long off fielder in Xavier Gabriel was positioned a lot straighter. And Dijon Charles on that occasion getting it to the right, exactly where he was, and picking up another boundary.
So he's been asked to move to his right a bit. And this time again, he has moved across towards the leg side and has struck it even firmer towards the right of Xavier Gabriel, who really just went to retrieve. This time he didn't even make an attempt to try to stop the ball. Powerfully struck there by Charles.
I don't understand the thinking from the South Castries Lions with placing the long off fielder that straight just after one shot from Dijon Charles. But credit must be given to him the way he has created the angle for himself, opening up, stepping leg side of those deliveries and hitting it to the right of the long off fielder and picking up 3 consecutive boundaries.
So they have raced to 92 for 2 in just 6.3 overs. So this time around he pushes it towards the long on boundary, gets a single. So sort of a reprieve for Larry Edward after being struck for 3 consecutive falls.
Yes, and that just shows how much control that the Soufriere Titans have over the game at this phase. Dijon Charles, knowing that he has already picked up 12 of the first 3 deliveries, opting to now not give the South Castries Lions any wickets.
And this one is played to the left of Johnson Charles at the short backward point boundary, and it has raced over the quick outfield for 4. So certainly an expensive over in the making, but delightfully played there by the batsman Dalius Monrose.
Yes, Dalius Monrose getting in on the act as well, opening the face on that one and getting it, squeezing it literally, because that gap was a very small gap, but he found it in the 4th boundary conceded by Larry Edward in that over.
And this one is played towards the short third man, where Daniel Jabatis does the fielding. So a very expensive over there. Some 17 runs coming up this over of Larry Edward.
Yes, and Larry Edward, we would probably have to turn back quite a few pages to find the last time that he had conceded so many runs in an over in SPL. He has been one of the more economical bowlers in the history of this competition. So credit must be given to Dijon Charles and Dalius Monrose, the way they really manipulated him. Even the field setting they manipulated, and Larry Edward conceding 17 runs in that his first over in 2 games.
So the South Castries Lions, they need a further 51 in all of 13 overs. So the equation really is in favor of the Titans.
Required run rate has now dipped below 4. So with every over that has gone by, the Soufriere Titans, they maintain that rate of 13s. And they continue to eat at that required rate. Just 51 runs required now from 13 overs. The Soufriere Titans, they have shown that when chasing, if you don't get wickets early up in the power play, that you are made to pay.
So Royce Paul will take up the attack. And this one shot outside the off stump. But it's split straight to Johnson Charles, who's at the short point region. And this one inside out shot over the extra cover region for 6. What a delightful shot there. Right in the slot for Dijon Charles.
An exquisite blow there from Dijon Charles, really opening the face on that one in the last moment to get the angle right. But he struck that one sweetly, and that one went a long distance, and that shot, that 6, brought up the 100 for the Soufriere Titans.
And this one delicately played, and a mix-up there might result in a run-out. Terrible mix-up there between these two. Oh, and the umpire has indicated that it's not out. Cesar de Coto. And Johnson Charles certainly is not pleased with that decision. But a terrible mix-up there between the batters.
Yes, Dalius Monroe's not responding, but that one, in all fairness, went too close to the fielder. A good throw back into the keeper who dislodged the bills, but umpire Dakota would have to wait for the replay to see how close that one might have been. Johnson Charles is not happy at that decision. Dijon Charles, he's still out there, 31 of 15. As we get to see that one on the replay now.
And Fletcher certainly looked like he was very much confident that he had gotten a run out, but the umpire Cesar de Coto would have been in the best position to make that ruling. So not outside. So de Coto. And this one shot outside the awesome, but to the right of Monroe's on this occasion, and down to the foot mud boundary for 4. So good late shot there played by Charles, just using the pace of the ball, getting into the right of the Malcolm Monroe's at the short foot man region.
Yes, and that short third man in Malcolm Monroe's is rather square. And that Dijon Charles being able to get out one fine enough. There's a big gap there between the keeper and where Malcolm Monroe's is being positioned.
And again, they've gone for the quick single. And this time he has indicated, he has raised the finger very quickly. So one would simply say that one was a suicidal run.
Dijon Charles and Dalius Monroe's really gifting a wicket to the South Castries Lions. Probably the contest is not challenging enough for them out in the middle. They needed to make something happen. And really the second run-out opportunity by the South Castries Lions, getting it right on that occasion. And Dalius Monroe's, he has to go via the run-out route. Really gifting a wicket to the South Castries Lions team.
So the Titans, they have lost their third wicket via the run-out route. And with just 41 required of all of 12 overs. So it was completed.
Captain Ecstasy Manuel walks out to the middle to try to ensure that he takes his team over the line. Dijon Charles is batting beautifully at the other end.
So Edward to continue. He'll be bowling too. And Charles, he has stepped towards the leg side to access the offside, the point region. The veteran Xavier Gabriel does not feel cleanly on the boundary and able to come back for a second. So just looking at Charles out in the middle, he's just toying with the bowling at this point.
Just 35 of 17, just what the Soufriere Titans require.
And on this occasion, he has stepped outside the off stump. And Larry decided he's going to hold this one back. Charles moving a bit too early. And this one is up in the air towards the mid-wicket area. One bounce into the fence for 4. So Charles continuing to take the attack to the South Castries Lions.
Yes, that one was a lot slower there from Larry Edward and Dijon Charles on that occasion, not timing that one cleanly. but getting enough of it and getting it wide of the fielder at deep mid wicket into the boundary for 4 more runs.
On his ball, faster delivery there from Larry Edward, and we know he can produce this one. Once he lines it up, batsmen sometimes have difficulty picking it up. But breezy knock there by Charles, really putting his team in a very commanding position. But one who really has to credit Larry Edward for producing that unplayable delivery.
Yes, and the 4th wicket goes down for the Soufriere Titans. Dijon Charles, he had a brilliant hand there this evening, 41 of 21, really putting his team in pole position to get a victory here this evening. But a very good delivery from Larry Edward, picking up a good wicket after Dijon Charles really took the attack to him early on.
So 2 relatively new batsmen out in the middle, the captain Ecstasy Manuel, and he is now joined by Kurt Edward. But looking at the Worms, they're definitely that of the Titans. It's way above the South Castries Lions. So the South Castries Lions, they certainly would need to pick up a few wickets in a cluster to perhaps slow down the rate and give themselves a chance of coming back into the game. But with just 45 more runs required in all of 11.3 overs.
New batsman for the Soufriere Titans. It's Kurt Edward coming in for his 2nd game. And he has 3 deliveries left to face from his younger brother, Larry Edward, who's halfway through over number 9.
So it looks like they're looking for the bill. With the sort of brown patches all over, it has been difficult to spot the bill. So the umpire. So we have we see the dismissal where this one was fired in. Really went through between bat and pad. And he was comprehensively bowled there, Larry Edward, really enjoying that dismissal. So we have Kurt Edward, his brother now. He'll be facing up to his brother Larry Edward. Tossed up delivery there, encouraging Kurt to go for that big lofted drive. He didn't fall for the bit. And this one in line with his thumbs. Kurt Edward comes forward, so I think Kurt really does not want to get out of the bowling of Larry. Certainly will not want Larry to have bragging rights. And this one tossed up again, but on this occasion, Kurt was looking to deposit this one over the top and unable to put back to ball. So good teasing free deliveries to Kurt Edward there by Larry Edward.
Yes, a good battle from the Edward brothers out in the middle, bringing some excitement to the fans who have made the trip here this evening to the Francis Baba Lastic grounds in Grosile to witness this encounter. Both teams looking to get points on the board to move up into the top 4 in the point standing before we head down to that all-important weekend in Choiseul in the south of the island. 35 more runs required for victory here from the Soufriere Titans. The South Castries Lions, they need 6 wickets.
I think it's a simple equation there for the Lions. Need 6 wickets. Certainly cannot defend 45 of 11. But the Titans certainly are in pole position at this point. Royce Paul to continue. Considering some 10 runs off his first over. So he will need to do better than his first over. And this one getting a fair bit of turn. One came back a long way.
Good start to the 10th over there by Royce Paul. But he would know that he needs to pick up wickets. Dot balls alone will not get them over the line this evening.
And this one angling down the leg side. Good work done there by Jean-Baptiste coming across to his right. Tallman having to go down very low. Fire this one in, but unable to direct it. So good single taken there by Emmanuel. This is bring Kurt Edward on to strike. And this one pushes it tentatively towards the point region, where it looks like Malcolm Monroe's comes in very quickly, prevents any chance of a run. And this one short, turns it towards the short square leg region where Johnson Charles does the fill-in. Again, no run resulting. So Emmanuel looked like he's not keen on those quick singles.
Yes, probably thinking that his team are in the ascendancy, well in control.
And again, this one, close call there, but fumbled by Malcolm Monroe's.
Should have never been a single. That ball was punched straight to Malcolm Monroe's in the point region. And he really released the pressure that had been built by Royce Paul in this over. Only 2 runs from it so far. 1 delivery still to come.
So Paul need to pick up a few wickets to give his team a chance. This one fired wide outside the awesome and wide call by the umpire Amide. So 1 more to the score. Moves on to 116. Tossed up delivery, but it's short and wide, and this one is played past the short cover full fielder and down to the boundary for 4. So poor end to the over there by Royce Paul.
Guess a good shot there by Ecstasy Manuel, not letting the dot ball pressure get to him and walking back and punching that one through the offside past Larry Edward all the way into the boundary for 4. After 10 overs, the Jade Mountain Soufriere Titans, they are 120 for 4. Some 28 runs required for victory from them from the remaining 10 overs. South Castries Lions, they need 6 wickets.
Yes, certainly wickets. That's what needed at this point. The Titans just 2.8. So for the Lions so far, when they batted, you had Charles and Monroe's the main contributor, with Edward towards the end. Brizzy 27 of 12. Mesmin and Sinclair were the main destroyers. But in the run chase for the Titans, you have Charles who got 41 of 21. Sinclair 22 from 12. And Matteo Boulogne, who really was peppered by Xavier Gabriel in particular, 22 from 12 as well. Jean-Baptiste has picked up 2 of his 3 overs for 45. Larry Edward, he's been on the expensive side, uncharacteristic of him, 23 of his 2, but he has picked up 1. And the captain Charlemagne, who had that solitary over for 14 runs. So certainly the Lions they would have only one thing on their mind, and that would be to get those additional 6 more wickets if they are able to pull off a victory.
Yes, definitely. And they only have themselves to blame for the position that they find themselves in this evening. They really did not bat well after the power play in the middle overs. They allowed the Soufriere Titans team to really control proceedings out in the middle and only managing to get to 148 with still overs left, and Larry Edward left stranded at the other end. But the Soufriere Titans, credit must be given to them the way they have approached this chase. Kevin Sinclair started things off brilliantly in the power play for them, and Dijon Charles continues to be consistent for them in that pivotal number 4 position. He got to 41 of 21. So all in all, the Soufriere Titans team, they are well on their way to victory here this evening. The South Castries Lions, they need 6 wickets, and they need it quickly if they are to cause an upset here. So we're going to take a break right now and resume when the action returns out in the middle. They're about to resume the action out in the middle. Larry Edward continuing the attack, left arm round the wicket to the right-handed Kurt Edward. That one is cut by Kurt Edward through the backward point region, all along the ground for 4. Kurt Edward picking up his first boundary of the evening off the bowling of Larry Edward.
Yes, certainly fractionally shot outside the awesome and delicately cut to pass Johnson Charles at the backward point region for 4. So certainly Kurt Edward would have some bragging rights on that shot.
Guess he would want to ensure that he scores runs against the bowling of Larry Edward, but not giving him his wicket here this evening. As we see a consultation between Larry Edward and Zai Antoine before the next ball is being bowled. Larry is back to the top of his mark. He remains round the wicket. That one, Kurt Edward is well forward and defends well. Good slower delivery there from Larry, really trying to entice Kurt into a false stroke.
Yes, certainly the 5 deliveries he has bowled to Kurt so far, with the exception of the one he was struck for 4. Those other 4 deliveries were tossed up and they were very slow.
Is Kurt Edward brave enough to really take on? And that one is shot and cut again, but straight to Royce Paul out on the cover boundary. And the score goes up by 1. Some 23 runs required from the remaining 9.3 overs. Only 2.42 runs required per over for victory. So Ecstasy Manuel and Kurt Edward would want to ensure that they get over the line without losing any further wickets. Ecstasy Manuel back and trying to work that one down to the short third man region, but not making contact on that occasion. Another dot ball, some 5 runs considered of the over so far. 2 deliveries still to come. And that one is slower. Kurt calls Ecstasy Emmanuel through. And they get there comfortably in the end. Another run added to the total, 126 for 4. 1 delivery left in over number 11. Larry Edward over the years has shown to be one of the more economical and more effective bowlers as Kurt Edward is forward. That one peels off the outside edge, just shy at the stumps at the non-striker's end from Johnson Charles. And Kurt Edward was not expecting the throw to come to his end, almost losing his wicket. But that brings over number 11 to an end. Jed Mountain, Soufriere Titans, they are 127 for 4. Some 21 more runs required from all of 9 overs.
Yes, certainly the Soufriere Titans, they are just coasting home at this point. And both Kurt Edward and Excess Emmanuel know that the end is near. There's not any real scoreboard pressure. So when they get a chance to hit the odd boundary, they would hit the odd boundary. But most importantly, they have shown the inclination to pick up the 1s and 2s whenever they are available.
Yes, and if we are to take any lessons from the South Castries downfall in the previous, even in this game and the previous game, that middle order, when your middle order batsmen are not in form and the opposing team is able to make inroads and get into that middle order early enough, that creates problems. So they would want to ensure that Ecstasy Manuel, Kurt Edward, they spend some time out in the middle. I mean, like you would have mentioned, the required run rate is not beyond them. Daniel McDonald to bowl. That one is a full delivery and driven past the diving cover fielder all the way into the boundary. Kurt Edward, he picks up his second boundary of the evening. He is now a runner ball 11. The requirement is now 17 of 8.5 overs.
Yes, certainly that was a gift given to Kurt Edward. And all he had to do was to hit it to the left of Larry Edward and got himself 4 runs.
That one is on the line of the leg stump, nicely worked down to the backward square leg region. And he picks up another single. He moves into 12 for runner ball 12. Ecstasy Manuel at the other end, 6 of 5, 132 for 4. And that one, Ecstasy Manuel is forward, and that one peels off the outside edge. Malcolm Monrose gives chase. There's an appeal for a run out. Umpire Dakota under the microscope again for a run out chance. And he says not out. So Ecstasy Manuel, he picks up 2 runs with that outside edge down to the third man region. He moves on to 8. The Soufriere Titans, they now need 14 more runs for victory.
Yeah, they required rate less than 2 runs and over. I think it's a foregone conclusion that the Titans, they are going to pick up a victory this evening. And South Castries Lions, they're going to go down to the second consecutive defeat at this ground.
McDonald continues and Ecstasy Manuel punches that one. Johnson Charles is able to come around in time to prevent the chance of a single. First dot ball of the over, 2 deliveries to come. That one is worked into the short fine leg region. So Ecstasy Manuel really just looking to rotate the strike and not take any chances. Kurt Edward, he has picked up 2 boundaries more recently. Real good feeling for him, that would be. And he goes, this one, is that an opportunity? No, it falls short of the fielder at long off. Just as I was about to credit Kurt Edward for the batsmanship that he has shown, he really looked to hit a 6 and almost presenting an opportunity for the long off fielder. But another over is completed. 12 overs have been bowled here this evening, 136 for 4. two maximums away for victory, the Jade Mountain Soufriere Titans.
Yeah, certainly the Jade Mountain Soufriere Titans, they are large and in charge at this point. Kurt Edward just had a rush of blood in the last ball there, looking for a maximum, perhaps want to finish this match as quickly as possible. But certainly they know that victory is in sight, and with just 12 more runs required, I think the South Castries Lions, they know that it is a foregone conclusion.
Yes, and maybe the Kurt Edward has one eye on that net run rate equation. Get the victory by all means necessary, but get it done well enough. Larry Edward to continue. He will be bowling his final over of his spell, and the right-handed Kurt Edward on strike. And that one is punched comfortably up to the fielder at long off. He moves up by one. And the field that is set to the bowling of Larry Edward, deep backward square, deep mid-wicket, long on, long off. Sweep on the offside. Short third point. Man at cover. That one is Ecstasy Manuel. Is not able to get that one into the vacant leg side region. Lots of singles on offer. So really no pressure. Just 11 more runs required. Ecstasy Manuel drives this one, lost this one high, back past the bowler for 6. And only 5 runs now required for victory by the Jade Mountain Soufriere Titans.
Yeah, excellent shot there by the captain, Ecstasy Manuel. Over pitch delivery on this occasion, and hit this one straight over the bowler's head for 6.
That one is punched into the ground, all the way out to the sweeper fielder on the offside. So only 4 more runs required after the single. Four runs required for victory. Dot ball there by Larry. Kurt Edward trying to force that one through the offside. Only succeeding in finding Zai Antoine in the cover region. So still 4 required. Kurt Edward 14 of 15. Ecstasy Manuel 16 of 11. A good partnership. Stabilize things out in the middle for the Soufriere Titans. Kurt Edward is back and cuts this one. Will that go into the boundary? Yes, it does. And that is victory for the Jade Mountain Soufriere Titans here this evening against the South Castries Lions. They've done it in style, and they've done it with 6 wickets left in the hut. So having been asked to bat first, the South Castries Lions only got to 148. And the Jade Mountain Soufriere Titans, they have managed to get to that target. With still 3 overs left. A brilliant performance there from the Jade Mountain Soufriere Titans. Greg, a good victory there for the Titans.
Yes, good convincing victory there by the Titans. Certainly having restricted the South Castries Lions to moderate score of just 149. We knew on a high scoring game, we feel that this was never going to be enough for the Soufriere Titans not to have gone over.
Yes, they really did the business from the toss, winning the toss, electing to bowl first. They would have probably been worried after that first delivery. A drop cut, something that has really affected them in previous games, went down. And just to run through the match summary, the South Castries Lions batting first they were bowled out for 147. Johnson Charles got to 54 of 20, Malcolm Monroe's 28 of 18, and Larry Edward was unbeaten on 27 of 12. Shanai Mesmin, the pick of the bowlers, he really bowled tremendously in the middle phase. 3 overs, 3 for 11. Kevin Sinclair, 4 overs, 3 for 19. Caleb Charles, the debutant, 3 overs, 2 for 33. And the Soufriere Titans really made light work of this target, finishing with still a whole 7 overs to spare, 148 for 4. Dijon Charles, 41 of 21. Kevin Sinclair, 22 of 12. And Mateo Bologne, 22 of 12 as well. Daniel Jabatis, 2 for 35 from 3 overs for the South Castries Lions. Larry Edward was the other wicket taker, 1 for 42 of his 4. So the Soufriere Titans, they won by 6 wickets here this evening.
So the Soufriere Titans certainly have registered a convincing victory over the South Castries Lions. So we're gonna wrap it up from our end, and we're gonna take a short break, and we're gonna have the post-match ceremony in a short while.
Don't worry, I'm down there on the split. So much stress.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the post-match presentation of match number 16 here this evening. We saw an exciting game between the Soufriere Titans and the South Castries Lions, in which the Soufriere Titans prevailed by 6 wickets. I'd like to invite Kester Emmanuel, the captain of the South Castries Lions, to have a word with me this evening. Kester Shalmine, did I butcher your name? Sorry about that. Kester, after that brilliant start in the power play, it was that middle order again that really caused you problems.
Definitely. I mean, on a ground where 180 is far and they're doing well to restrict us to under 150. So I must say, they bowled really well after the power play.
And now we move to the south of the island, down in Choiseul. It's not going to get any easier for you. You still have 2 games. What are your plans going into these 2 games to ensure that you get those victories?
Well, first and foremost, we just look to, bat all our 20 overs and just put up a good total if we have to set a score and chase when needs be.
All the best in the remainder of the competition. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And a word with the victorious captain this evening, Extus Emmanuel from the Soufriere Titans. Extus, no emotion of disappointment or anger walking into the post-match interview. You held on to your chances today after that brilliant power play. How did you manage to control the game in the middle order and really restrict the Lions this evening?
Well, first off, we did it. All right, we did it. After the first power play, when they batted, I want to just commend my team for pulling the game back so well. And it comes down to us just sticking to the basics. All right, sticking to the basics, sticking to our plan. I want to commend my team for really sticking to the plan. All right, Kevin Sinclair, I want to commend him for a good all-round performance as well. And I want to back all the members of my team to come out next game and just keep the momentum going.
Just a quick word. You had 5 changes coming into this game. A lot of debutants, Caleb Charles, Shanai Mesming bowling for the first time as well. But all of them really did put their hand up and deliver for you. What was the message coming out of the dressing room?
It's more hunger, man. They put their hunger on the pitch. They left everything on the pitch. And I would say, well done to them. Let's come again strong. Next game, and let's do it, all right?
All the best for the remainder of the competition. And now for tonight's Man of the Match award, which will be presented by Kissinger Anthony, representative of one of our sponsors, Flo. The Curling George Man of the Match for this evening's encounter is none other than Kevin St. Clair for his 3 wickets for 19 runs and his 22 of just 4 deliveries inside the power play really propelled the Soufriere Titans over the Lions here this evening. Just a quick word with you, Sinclair. Your second man of the match performance. What do you contribute this to?
I must say, I give God thanks and praise for the victory. We come after 2 losses, the kind of, then the dressing room a bit. So, me being one of the overseas players and a senior player that played for West Indies, I just look to shame and knowledge in the dressing room, keep the guys, motivated and focused. I'm happy that the feeling finally come to grip in this encounter. So we just got to take that moving forward. We're a good team. We're strong unit all around. We batting and bowling well. So it's just about playing that all-round game, and I'm happy that I contributed to that victory today as well.
All right, thank you very much, and all the best in the remainder of the games.
Thank you very much.
So this brings us to the end of the post-match presentation in match 16 here at the Francis Baba Lastic grounds. We move to the south of the island at the Lafargue playing field for more exciting cricket. Thank you.